We're going live now.
Hi, hi, hi. Merry Christmas, my friends. And it's so good to be back here talking about the Trek, the Star Trek. Oh, yes, oh, yes. And we have a good subject and topic for you. But before we get into that, let me introduce you to our usual guests as well as our special guest. First of all, to my side, I have cousin Chito. How you doing, my friend?
I'm here. I'm waiting for Xanta to unload his sack on me.
Oh, don't worry. Don't worry. I can't wait to spread my goodness. Now, beneath me, we have our special guest. He's a Big J. How you doing, Big J?
I'm doing great, and thank you guys for inviting me on to do this with you. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome, my friend. And also, diagonally to me, we have Major Age. How you doing, Mage?
I'm great. I'm excited to talk about the Trek actors' bodies of work outside of their, roles that most of our fan base are most familiar with them in. Looking forward to working with Big J too. It's awesome to have somebody new to bounce stuff off of.
Yes, 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 it is. So what we're gonna do is that we're going to talk about each show with the actors from those shows and talk about their body of work and maybe some other actors as well, like Jeffrey Combs and stuff like that, and talk about some of their stuff too. So we'll try to get through this as quickly as possible as well, because there's so many actors, so many shows. Okay, so let's start off with TOS, and we'll start off with the captain himself, Mr. James T. Kirk, played by the legendary and still with us, William Shatner. Now, good old Bill, he's actually been to space, lucky him, but he also played a lot of people on the ground, not just up there. And I think one of the most significant series he did, I'm not sure if you guys were a fan of it or ever saw of it, was TJ Hooker. Did you guys like that stuff?
I watched some
Anyone?
TJ Hooker when I was a kid. Not a ton, but I did some. So that was, I really feel like that was, I can't recall any other show or series that he did outside of Star Trek. And he was in Airplane 2. And
Mm-hmm.
of course, there's TJ Hooker
I think
and
Boston Legal.
Boston Legal. Geez, as soon as you said that, I knew I had messed up. Yes, yes, he was on Boston Legal for a while, and a few other TV shows, movies here and there. He was one of the lead characters in it was called Bleep My Dad Says. Went for about a season. It was kind of not very well known, I don't think, but if you look that one up, it was not a bad series. It was okay. Unfortunately, it went through I think at least it was one season, if I recall.
Yeah, racking my brain when it comes to what William Shatner has done. It does feel like this guy has a lot of body of work, but then again, I can't think of it all. I do feel like he's had maybe guest appearances on certain shows like your Columbos and stuff like that. But overall, being present in a lot of other films and TV as the main star or a supporting role, I don't think he's done that much. Any cousin Tito, Major Age, can you add to William Shatner's array of work?
Boston Legal. Did we say that one yet? I
Yes.
missed.
Yep.
Yes, we did.
Okay.
Um,
Not really. I mean, was it no? Sarah,
Priceline commercials.
legally was it no,
Priceline.
not Legally Blonde. What's the one with Sandra Bullock in it?
Yes. Oh, that
Oh,
was just
Miscongeniality. He's the
Miscongeniality,
host of
yeah.
the
no,
award
he
show
was
of
also
the
he was
beauty
also in
contest.
that Star Wars movie. No, not a film about. It was the one about the guys who wanted to get their friend who was dying of cancer
Oh,
to see an
Fanboys.
yes.
episode.
Fanboys.
Fanboys, yeah.
Dude, I
He had
fell
a
in love with
cameo. That's a
what's her
great
name?
film.
Oh, what's her name? She's married to Shaggy from the Scooby Doo movie. I can't remember.
Oh yeah, I know who she is. She's been in a
Kristen
lot of
Bell?
things. Kirsten Bell, Kirsten.
Yeah, God, I fell in love with her during that
She's
movie.
great. Yeah, she's lovely. Okay, so on to his first officer and science officer, and he's been in a few things definitely. Hello, Jim. Um, we're talking about Leonard Nimoy. Now, Leonard Nimoy, he for me, we could talk about a lot of his work, but I actually loved him in Invasion of the Body Snatchers with Donald Sutherland, and I loved that film because one of those films where the bad guys win. But overall, his performance in that was very good. Jake,
There's
you're
not
bursting for something. Yeah.
there's not many of those where the bad guy wins.
Oh yeah, for sure. I did like that film. Just the ending of that movie when Donald Sutherland points to that woman and starts screaming, and you know they've all lost, and the earth has been taken over. What a way to end! It's like one of the best endings I've ever seen in movies. And of course, Mission Impossible, which he was really good in. And then he famously sung the Bilbo Baggins song. If you guys can remember that.
Have you
The
guys heard that
greatest
song?
adventure
it's great.
is coming for you today.
Yeah, I would actually play it, but we probably get copyrighted.
Oh
Um,
yeah, don't want to do
Super
that.
fast. Don't mess with the Tolkien estate.
oh yeah, no.
They
Gygax
will-
found that out the hard
Listen,
way.
when we were doing the Lord of the Rings of Power reviews, we got some Tolkienites out when
Really?
yeah. I mean, we weren't huge I really liked the shows. Zam did not necessarily like the show as much, although Zam's not here right now to defend himself. But yeah, I mean, the Tolkien fans came out. Oh, this is nuts! Oh man, it was like trying to play Hogwarts Legacy. Like I mean, they were all
Okay.
out trying to just.
I'll say this: it's the first season, and sometimes you have to find your feet. Some shows are good at the beginning, and then they lose all the ideas, and they just become shit as they progress. But like Star Trek tends to find its feet at the beginning. It needs to find its feet, finds its feet, and then ends up being what it ends up being in the latter seasons. And hopefully, the Rings of Power will be the same. But I'm already drawing a blank with Leonard Nimoy. Mage, you got anything?
1984, the
Of
Orwellian
course.
classic, the
Oh,
film
yeah.
adaptation, and
Yes,
he does a
yes.
phenomenal job in that. I mean,
Yes, he's
and
very good.
kind of a feather in your cap to do something highbrow, and he's been all over the place, Nimoy.
Yeah.
If this counts, this isn't live action. Well, there were two instances of this. One was animated, one was live action, both for Transformers. So back in 1986, Leonard Nimoy voiced Galvatron in the
Mhm.
Transformers
Oh
the movie.
yes.
Yes,
I remember.
yeah. For anyone who hasn't seen that, which I would be surprised if anybody in our generation has not, I would certainly recommend the Transformers the movie. It's an animated movie. It was great. It was very good, and the way he played that part, just the voice, I couldn't imagine any other voice playing Galvatron. And he came back in Transformers, one of the Michael Bay ones. I'm trying to remember. There were so many. I know he played Sentinel Prime,
Mm-hmm.
and I can't recall. It wasn't Dark of the Moon. I'm gonna have to
Revenge
look
of
that
the
one up.
Fallen.
No, not that one. Yeah, Revenge of the Fallen was the second one.
Oh, was it? I
Yep.
can't.
Yeah, it was one of those. And if I recall hearing correctly, Leonard Nimoy, I'm sorry, Michael Bay has some kind of relation to Leonard Nimoy. I don't know if it's his wife is a cousin or something like that, but there is some kind of connection between the two. And
Dark of the Moon.
Dark of the Moon. Okay, that's
The third
that's
one.
probably it. Yeah. So he kind of did it as a favor, if I recall hearing that correctly. But you may be right on it being Dark of the Moon.
Maybe.
I looked it up. It's his cousin. Susan Bay was Nimoy's widow. So he was his cousin-in-law.
Cousin-in-law. Okay.
Oh, fair enough.
So Michael Bay is Leonard Nimoy's cousin-in-law.
Oh,
Is that right?
that's a
Did I
small
say it
one.
right?
Yes, that would appear
Okay.
to be from my cursory Google search.
Yeah. So yeah, I knew there was something in there.
I had no idea.
So besides Star Trek, yeah, that's one of the biggest things that I know from Leonard Nimoy voicing Galvatron, and then in the live action version of Transformers, voicing Sentinel Prime.
Okay, so we're going to go down to DeForest Kelly, also known as Leonard McCoy Bones. Now, I have only seen him once in a couple of westerns, a western or two. I really don't know his work, and unfortunately, he's one of these actors who, like, you got some people who are very happy to be remembered portraying a particular character. Unfortunately, he's in the category of actors who don't want to always be remembered for playing Bonds and in Star Trek, and it's a shame, really, because he's had a gig, he's had work throughout his entire acting career because of that character. He's constantly giving him work, and you should embrace that. To have a role that you can come back to all the time for like for 3 or 4 decades. Not many actors has that luxury. But regardless, outside of Star Trek, I know he's been in some westerns, but I don't even know what those westerns are. What
He's
about
got
you
a. I
guys?
mean, I'm looking at his now. He's got a large body of work, actually.
Really?
But yeah, it's.
Okay.
I mean, he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
I have never seen him in anything but Star Trek.
Hold on, here. I'll bring this out. Look at this body for TV. Even I'm going to bring
Put
this
it
up
up.
really. Yep.
There was something he was in. He shared a scene with Leonard Nimoy. I don't recall the occasion that I had seen it, but I felt like it was something more in the 80s.
So he did all of
He
this,
did a lot
and
of
then
stuff.
yeah, he did all of this, and then right here, after all that, right here is the original series of Star Trek. So
Yeah.
He was established.
oh yeah,
Mm.
absolutely.
What about after that?
After that, not much. Honestly.
Yeah, it really dropped off after that.
Yeah, I mean, but if you
At
think
least
about
for
it, I mean,
TV.
with Trek, he kind of had it made.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, there's literally you can see the end of
He's a
like
little
Star Trek, and
hobo.
then that's it.
That's amazing. I love the little hobo.
Wasn't he on
There's the
Gunsmoke?
voice. Sorry.
The what? Gunsmoke?
Wasn't he on? Scroll up a little bit. I thought he was on Gunsmoke. Or was that Leonard
Bonanza.
Nimoy?
See,
Okay,
Bonanza.
Bonanza.
He was
No,
on
I don't see Bonanza either.
Route
Go back-
66.
Go back a little more.
Trying to. My cursor's
It was under Route
Right.
66.
He's a bit like Leslie Nielsen. People think of him as just a comic actor, but he was actually a serious actor throughout the 60s and 50s, 60s,
There
and
he is, Gunsmoke.
70s.
I thought it was Gunsmoke. Yeah.
But
there you go.
it's like one. It looks like it's one episode.
Yeah.
Yep, down lower. I could have swore I saw Bonanza.
Bonanza.
61 to 66.
I do not see.
There.
Oh, there it
Yep.
is. Got it.
There.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
4 episodes.
4 episodes. Yeah. So anyway, I mean, he's one of those ones that we only think of him as Bones, but he was well established before he got to Trek, and honestly, after Trek, he kind of fell off, except for Trek.
He did. He did. And that's, I'm sure I'll say this again, but I kind of feel that way for the rest of the TOS characters we're going to talk about, is that once I only remember them from Star Trek or something Star Trek related, it just seemed like these careers sort of, I don't want to say went downhill. They didn't. It just seems like that after that, it was probably a big case of stereotyping. Like what else are you going to put any of these actors in or actress that's they're going to be able to play a character and not be thought of as Sulu or Chekhov or Hura, Scotty,
I agree.
et cetera, et cetera.
I mean, for Sulu, I've only got one thing, and when we get to him, I'll say it. But like, I've only got one thing in mind that I can
Really?
think of. Yeah, Sulu, George
Well,
Takei.
look, there's one actor, which when we'll get to him, I think, who has broken that barrier, and we will get to him. But and it is a him, so you guys already know that. But let's go on to George Takei. So for me, there's a film called the Return from River Kwai, where he plays like a militant guerrilla sort of leader. It's a really good role, like you see him and you think, wow, that's George Takei in this role, and he's it's just good to see him, and he's done a lot of voice work as well, even in Star Wars. he's done voice work. And he has been in various things. When it comes to voice work, he's been in things like Family Guy as well.
Hmm.
But I'm just looking at some of his filmography right now.
I mean, the one that
And
I was going to mention is Heroes. He was Heroes' dad on the show Heroes, which is the thing I remember
yep,
him from.
he's been in Green Beret, Mulan.
Oh, he was in
He was
Mulan.
the
You're
father.
right.
Yes.
Yeah,
You are right. He was in Mulan.
there's a film called Do I Sound Gay? I know he's gay
Oh
himself.
my!
Oh my!
But yeah, but yeah, he's been in Batman Beyond and Batman Beyond the Return of the Joker. Oh my goodness, he's been in a lot, So,
I
but
don't recall who
mainly
he.
voice work.
I don't recall who he played in Batman Beyond: Return of the Joker. I've seen that one, but I'm drawing a blank.
Let me have a look. View
I'm gonna
all.
look.
Who did he play?
I'm gonna look this up too.
Oh, it says his name, but it doesn't say who he plays, which is a shame.
Gotcha.
Nearly every other character's got a name. Wow, Tara Strong, who plays Harley Quinn, played Barbara Gordon
Mm-hmm.
in
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Tara Strong's
great.
all over the place. She's phenomenal. I
Oh,
love
yeah.
her.
Yeah,
A lot of her
She's
video
probably
game
going to
roles.
get she's probably one day going to get the Kevin Conroy Lifetime Vocal Actor Award from the movie
Mhm.
Glasses.
I mean, she's
Mhm.
Miss Minutes after all, even.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Miss Minutes. I mean, she's her.
I
she's
would give it to
smoking,
Jennifer
too. She
Hale
could-
first before Tara Strong, but that's just me. But
Who?
By the way,
Tangent Station, Jennifer Hale.
Oh, okay.
you don't mess with the Zohan George Takei's been in as well. So
Is it Adam Sandler? Is that an
Yeah.
Adam Sandler movie?
Yeah. They need to stop playing that film now with the current crisis we're having. So yeah. Anyway, okay, so that's George Takei, and now I think we're going to his colleague alongside him, in Watercorning, and
Babylon 5.
Babylon
Yep.
5.
Baxter, baby. Listen, he
He's
was one
been
of the
what-
greatest villains on Babylon 5. I maybe not a villain. I mean, it kind of was a villain.
I like to call him
a villain.
an antagonist.
I don't know, man. He did some pretty shitty stuff.
True. Yeah, he did. Bester. That was a good character that he played. And I think he's probably one of the only cases that I can think of, and I'm sure I'm probably going to end up being incorrect on this, is that of all the actors, he's probably the one or the few that had played a recurring role that often in another sci-fi series. I think Walter Koenig is probably besides Babylon 5, that's another one where I don't recall any other body of work. Let me look him up and scroll through.
I say I'm looking
his
at it right
stuff.
now.
I do remember a long time ago him being in this sort of sci-fi horror movie, but
Oh yeah. There was one that I think it was the 80s or the 90s. What was it called?
maybe the 90s, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello, Ginger Greek.
Moontrap.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it
Moontrap,
was.
I think. Yeah, I think
Moontrap.
so. I can't remember the premises too well, but yeah, it was good to see him in something else,
Oh,
So-
Bester. I said Baxter. Bester.
Bester, yeah. But
So-
nothing else here looks familiar.
No, I'm not seeing. And General Hospital. He was actually in the pilot of General Hospital in 1963.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what it says.
Oh. Okay.
Okay, let's quickly jump into the next guy now. We've got two more actors left on regarding this. Maybe three if you want to conclude Major Barrett. But first of all, let's get into James Doohan. Now, I'm looking at his filmography right now, or he's covered in Star Trek. I actually remember him in Loaded Weapon 1, where he kind of played the character of himself in a cameo. I'm not sure if you guys remember. It was very funny. You know,
I mean, I
somebody
don't know him
asked,
outside of Star Trek really at all.
he was actually a stand-up comedian. You know, and he was doing like a Scottish accent impersonation, and somebody like a Gene Roddenberry saw him or something like that. I thought, yeah, I'm gonna get this guy. And I've always said, I stand by this. Stand-up comedians are the best actors, man.
I
And
agree. Robin Williams is one of the greatest actors of
yeah,
all time, in my opinion.
and so and you got Eric Bana as well. You know, who everyone know played a fantastic Romulan villain in Star Trek. So,
Eric Bana
but
was a
yes,
comedian?
yeah, he's a stand-up comedian, dude.
Really?
Really?
I
Yeah,
did not know that.
yeah,
Whoa. No
yeah.
idea.
So yeah, it's amazing when you realize, you know, who are. There's a couple of people who've tried to venture out in other roles, like what's his name, Chris Rock. He tried to do a serious role once, and he was absolutely awful in that. You know, so not every stand-up comedian is a great actor, but yeah, regardless. Anyway, James Doohan, I know he's very good at doing impersonations, but the guy's a Canadian actor. But
Here's one.
yeah,
In 1983, he was in an episode of Fantasy Island, which of course was with Ricardo Montalban.
oh yes, gone. Yes,
I've
yes.
got a interesting anecdote for you in regards to Fantasy Island and Ricardo Montalban. When it was decided that Star Trek II was going to be Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan, that they were bringing Khan back from the original series episode Space Seed, he did the reads for the part, and he was reading the character like Mr. Rourke from Fantasy Island because he'd been on it. That was what he was used to. So like the producers, they're kind of in shock, panic, because he's playing this part completely like his TV show character. And what they had to do was they had to dig up a copy of the episode of Space Seed to give to Ricardo Montalban so he could watch it again and relearn the character. So that's
Mhm.
a little interesting thing. Something that I can't use in everyday life. That's all this useless knowledge I've got, but put me on a Star Trek podcast or some kind of sci-fi trivia night, and I've got it.
And that, for me, that is not useless trivia. I'm very happy to have known that because until then I had no idea.
Learn
So
something new every day, or tons of stuff
exactly.
like me tonight. Like,
Yeah.
So Michelle Nicholas is the last one in this group. I don't know. I honestly I don't know anything she's been in other than Star Trek. She's the one person I've never seen her in anything. Yeah, I have seen these other guys. I've seen all of them, all the other actors in something. Apparently, she's been in Snow Dogs. I had
I'll say she
no
was in Snow Dogs. She was in Are We There Yet?
Yeah, so and also she was in that documentary Woman in Motion, which was about NASA and space flights and
Oh
stuff
yeah,
like
no,
that.
she was a huge proponent of getting African American just kids like interested in NASA and African American girls to get in NASA. That was one of her passions, was to get more representation in NASA. And it's not that NASA was like, no, we don't want them. It's just like, you know, Nichelle Nichols just coming out of that era of American history, you know, like she wanted to like guide the country in a, hey, you NASA can be diverse. It's not the fact that NASA doesn't want you guys. It's just, you know, you just got to get there. And she was that kind of that bridge that kind of started bringing the African American community into NASA and see, we can do this, you know, like, and that, you know, which we all knew they could, but that era of America, not very, what's the word I'm looking for?
Diverse.
Not diverse, but like encouraging of,
Oh.
That kind of stuff. So no, she did a lot for NASA and bringing diversity into NASA.
Not
And
inclusive.
yeah, so she did a lot of that, and that's she did a fantastic job with that.
Okay, so we're not going to jump into TNG. What about Major Barrett? Do you want to bring as quickly for her in the mix?
I also want to bring up the fact that Nichelle Nichols played Elisa Mazza's mom on Gargoyles. Just saying.
Okay, dokie. And And Major Barrett.
She plays the computer for eons. She plays Waxana Troy. Like I've never seen her in
But
anything else.
She was
Neither have
in
I.
TOS, dude. She was in TOS.
I know she was in TOS. She was number one,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying, like, what else? We're
And Nurse
talking about
Chapel.
their work
Yeah, Nurse
outside of
Chapel.
Trek.
No, but I'm just saying, as we're talking TOS, I guess I'll give her a special mention. But yeah, honestly, outside of Trek, I have no idea. And then honestly, I'm not going to look up. Yeah, I don't mean to any disrespect, but we need to move on. So I want to quickly talk about the one man who has definitely broken the barrier, and that is Patrick Stewart. Prior to we're going into TNG now. Prior to Star Trek, he had already had a body of work as an actor, as a theatre actor as well. And after Star Trek, and whilst making Star Trek, because honestly, you can't even say after Star Trek, but he's been doing Star Trek right after Picard season 3. So even though he was doing all of this other Star Trek shit, he still had other stuff. Countless X-Men movies. He's been in other films as well, like Conspiracy Theory, where he played a bad guy in that, which I really, really liked. You know, it was really good.
Julia Roberts
Yeah.
and Mel Gibson also.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, technically, X-Men came out before Nemesis, so I mean,
Yeah.
you know, like, so I mean, yeah, there was some crossover there between, and I know technically he did Picard after that, but I'm just saying, like, there was crossover like between X-Men. I think X-Men 2 came out in 2003 and Nemesis came out in 2002. So there was like very close crossover there between Star Trek and X-Men with him. So yeah, he definitely had made it.
He definitely. I remember in the 1980s Dune, he plays the character of Gurney, who's now being played by Josh Brolin. Really loved him in that. I loved him in Excalibur as well. If you guys need to see Excalibur. Excalibur is one of the best fantasy movies that is pretty much made just for adults only. You know, because you know it's a bit like if Game of Thrones came out then, that would be its comparison to a degree. It's a really good film about Excalibur, about the sword and the stone and the lady in the lake and King Arthur and all of that. And yeah, he's in that too. And yeah, just the body of work this man has done is unbelievable, and he will be equally remembered as Professor X, which he's played up to recently. Even like last year, he was in it as in Doctor Strange: Multiverse of Madness. You know, as he would be remembered for Jean-Luc Picard. The guy, without doubt, is an absolute legend, and the biggest breakout star in Star Trek history. Anything to add to Patrick Stewart, fellas?
Robin Hood Men in Tights. He played.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yes, of course. Okay.
Dune was my first exposure to Patrick Stewart, and
that's the only thing I remember from the first Dune. Everything else was
1984, and he was still bald and had gray hair around the side. And so let's see. In 1987 he was 47. So take away 3. So yeah, 44. I mean, that guy. I've seen one picture of a role he was in where he had hair. So I don't know if he was just cursed with very early onset, but it's really strange because right now I'm older than he was when he was in Dune, and a year younger than he was when TNG aired. And I don't feel it. It's just kind of like, I don't know. You know,
Anson Mount from Strange New Worlds was older than Patrick Stewart when he started Strange New Worlds.
Really?
Yeah, Anson Mount is 50, maybe 51 by now.
Oh my
Patrick
God.
Stewart was like 40 some when you said 47, right?
Yeah, he was 47 when TNG aired.
Yeah. So they were saying like when Anson Mount started Strange New Worlds, he was 50. I know, right?
Regarding the theater work, like Zam, when he tells me he's driving his cab around London, there was a couple of theaters, at different times he would see that Patrick Stewart would be performing there. I think he's also performed in Broadway as well in America. Like the guy is just, I do apologize. My meds.
Xanta's got to take his meds.
And so, yeah.
Crazy
cookies.
So
Brownies with a little
Okay.
something extra in it.
Mage, you got anything to add?
I mean, we spoke a little bit about theater. Stewart's Shakespearean trained. I mean,
by Shakespeare himself.
Yeah, let's go with that. Patrick Stewart. Great, you put me on the spot, Xanta. I wanted to say something about the TOS cast before we moved on about them.
Okay, please.
The Futurama episode where no fan has gone before featured a lot of the TOS cast that survived, and they did some voice work for that episode. I just wanted to bring that one up real quick. It's good laughs, but an episode made by people like us for people like us. So any fan of an animated comedy should check out
I need to dig it up.
It's a season 3 episode of Futurama of the original run back on Fox.
Okay. Yeah, I never. I mean, Futurama was like, okay, I watch an episode or I don't watch an episode. So
he was on Family Guy a lot and American
Dad. American Dad. He does Bullock. Of the Stan's boss.
He also did. He was the main protagonist or antagonist in the 2007 TMNT movie that a lot of people forget about, which is excellent, by the way. Love that.
Was he really?
He wasn't really. He wasn't really the antagonist. We found out he was.
Don't spoil it if for people who haven't seen it.
It's like 2007 is it's like too bad.
If they haven't watched it by now.
Statute of limitations is passed.
Yeah, that's true.
So. Okay, so we're gonna start going into some actors now who
on Jimmy Neutron. Sorry, he did some Jimmy Neutron.
Yes, yeah. So let's go into his number one in Jonathan Frakes. Now, I have seen Jonathan Frakes in only one thing, I think, outside of Star Trek. I mean, he's a fantastic director. Let's not forget that, But I can remember him in an episode of Lois and Clark. He was in that. He played a bad guy in that.
Nice.
But I can't remember him in anything else. I think he might have been in Remington Steele back in the day, but I'm not sure. Anyone?
He also played Xanatos on Gargoyles.
The best instance of the glory or the magnificent bastard trope. He's just, you love to hate him and hate it to love him.
And Ginger Greek, Ginger Greek's right. He was also hosted the Unsolved Mysteries show.
Ripley's Believe It or Not as well.
Ripley's Believe It or Not, The Twilight Zone. Well, I'm sorry, he was in The Twilight Zone. Sorry, he didn't host it, but.
And he did a lot of voice work.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, Gargoyles, you'd already mentioned being the big one. And I'm looking here, see what else he's been in besides that.
Brand new.
Wait, Beyond Belief, Fact or Fiction. That was the name of the show.
Okay. Brand new stuff. He and Robert Picardo are both in a new Hallmark Channel Christmas movie. Actually, I was getting up to get.
Oh, I remember. Yeah, I saw it the other day.
I was getting Mom something to drink, and I look at her movie, and I'm like, "It's Jonathan Frakes," and 5 seconds later, it's Robert Picardo. I was like, "What?"
He was also on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. He was on Librarians. He was on Orville for 2 episodes.
Was he? I only thought he directed Orville. I didn't know if he was in it.
Hold on, let me see. Where am I at?
He directed.
Oh, directing credits. My bad, people. Yeah. My bad.
It's okay.
Cheeto.
That's one strike.
Glasses.
I know there have been actors from Star Trek in Orville, but he would be one I would definitely remember.
Yeah, no, you're right. It was, but he did direct a lot.
Now,
and guys, he was in the most excellent episode of Star Trek ever. These Are the Voyages. I mean, come on.
I'm disconnecting. Can we cut his stream? Yeah, let's rage quit on that one. Oh, I can't believe you went there.
I know, right?
It's too soon.
Too soon. You know? 2005.
I'm not
exactly. It's still too soon. I'm still mad about it too.
I know, right?
I can hold the grudge.
By the way, Big
My
J,
new
just so you
best
know,
friend.
we the party over here. We're big Enterprise fans. Like, obviously, these are the Voyages is garbage episode, and we hate it.
Yeah.
But it was only fan fiction that Riker was kind of going through, and it was dramatized. So Tucker's still alive. We know it.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
I don't.
Trip lives.
In general, I don't have a problem with Enterprise. I thought that I like the third season. I know that one's very controversial.
Oh, I love that third
with the
season.
whole Zindi arc. I like the third season. I thought the fourth season, it was really hit a stride. Like boom, 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 boom. It was good. They had these 2 and 3 episode things, great. But by that point, it was too late. The fans had spent so much time and dedication trashing it, and it kept getting onto network schedules where it was preempted by every sport known to man, baseball, soccer, whatever it may be. So there just wasn't a consistent time that it was on. And so all of those things kind of killed it. And it was 90s Trek. So of course the big draw they were going for was whatever demographic likes females with large breasts, because that's
the
what
cat suits. God, I'm so
Berman
glad we're done with
influence.
those.
the cat suit. Yeah.
Speaking of cat suits, here comes Joshua Irwin.
Oh,
hey. I need to add my 2 cents, because look,
he hates.
You guys know. No, I don't. Don't speak. No, please. I have no. I know why Enterprise failed, because it didn't follow the similar formula to TOS. Now TOS was an episodic show that wasn't trying to serialize itself. It was just about going to strange new worlds and finding out all of these things and all these adventures. And considering Enterprises before that, and they're still unearthing shit, that's the sort of formula they should have gone for. But no, they went for this serialized shit with the Zindi and tried to fucking.
Did he not watch DS9? Like what?
No, he didn't.
No, he didn't watch DS9 apparently.
But that's what Enterprise should have been. DS9 is set in one fucking place, yeah. Of course, it can be more serialized, but Enterprise, when they're like, we're talking about a prequel to the TOS era, you should have followed a similar formula to TOS.
It's more like TOS than any other Star Trek.
Yeah, they did that in the first 2 seasons, and it failed.
TNG is more like TOS. What the hell are you guys on about?
Vibe.
Yeah, Voyager is more like TOS. What the hell are you guys on about?
It was like failing. That's why they did the serialized stuff, is because they were trying to save it. Now, you can argue that the result was probably not very good in season 3, but what they did in season 4 was a lot better. It was less serialized in season 4. It was less serialized.
But it condensed multi-parters. Those were working out really well, but it had become trendy to hate it by then, and it's still trendy to hate it.
Not really. I think there's a lot of love out there for Enterprise. I think people
get blamed if you love it,
and they're like, "Yeah, this is not that bad."
Man.
Like, we've derailed the podcast.
What are we? We're the separatists, for fuck's sake. You know what I mean? Anyway, okay. So I want to, before we go to some of the more main characters within TNG, I'm going to go right to somebody who's only been in TNG here and there and a little bit everywhere, including Picard, and that is Will Wilson, who plays Wesley Crusher. He's in one of my all-time favorite films as a young man, in a movie called Stand By Me. I'm not sure if you guys seen that. That's an excellent film. It's a wonderful film with a great cast of actors, including River Phoenix. Jerry, it's not Jerry Ryan. What the hell is his name? The guy who's married to Major Barrett.
Jerry O'Donnell.
Jerry O'Donnell. And oh my God, why is his name escaping me right now?
John Aston.
No. No, he was in Lost Boys. Why the hell is his name?
There's a photo I'm going to show you guys. What would be a good way for me to have that pop up on the stream?
You just go to present and then share screen, and then go to window, and then pick whatever window you have open that you want to share. Make sure all your porn tabs are closed, and or don't. I mean, demonetized.
Hold on just a moment. Let me.
No,
okay.
Corey Feldman. That's it.
That was Haim.
Yeah.
Here, let me show you guys
Corey
this.
Haim. Yeah.
What I was thinking.
That is me getting
No
an
shit.
autograph with Will Wheaton
Oh,
in 1987 at a mall
Jesus.
here where I live.
Oh,
Everything
Right.
looks 80s right there.
yeah.
Oh
There was
my
no line
goodness.
apparently for Will Wheaton. That's sad.
It was behind me.
What?
Oh,
What the hell?
Look at those shorts. And get this. So my mom let me leave the house looking like this, and there should have been some oversight. Look at the sheriff. The sheriff's eyeballing those shorts, thinking, I need to arrest this kid. But yeah, there you go. That's me and Will Wheaton.
I need to rest
Nice.
and quit to make my quota. You know what I mean?
I met him in
About-
'95. He
Mhm.
came to a convention here in Arkansas, and this was back when Tyler Donovan and I were cadets in Starfleet International, and I had his, cadet uniform for the first duty that I had tailor made for me, and I was wearing it, and he signed it.
Oh,
Ooh.
you can never wash that now. Now did you encase it in glass, like vacuum sealed, so that it would be?
I think it's in my closet at my parents' house.
Oh, you get it away from there fast. What would
I'd
you?
have
I
to-
mean,
I'd have to dig through it.
aren't you worried that someone's going to do laundry and throw that in by accident? Well, let me tell you this. It's possible. I almost lost a signature from Jimmy Doohan on a jean jacket due to laundry. We were my fiance and I were in the basement here at my house, and I don't know why we were doing laundry. We were doing laundry, and there were some things there that were hanging up on a hanger that needed to be cleaned. And she's going through the stuff and said, "What about this jacket?" I kind of glanced at it. I was like, "Yeah, wash that too." And before she could get over there to start the washer cycle, it hit me, and it was like, whoa, wait. And I took it out. It didn't get wet. Nothing happened. But that was the signature on there. And him and Bill Mummy from
Will Robinson.
Yeah, and from Babylon 5.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it can happen. Stuff can end up in the laundry, and then you'll be crying.
Just before my wife and I got married, she went through a lot of my stuff at my parents' house, and she's going through one box, and she just kind of turns to me and goes, "How many Marina Sirtis autographed Deanna Troi dolls do you have?"
Oh, they are collectibles.
God damn.
She
Not
was not happy
dolls.
about it.
So
Why are they all stuck
You
together?
know, she's as old as your mom, right?
she's as old as your mom.
It's like that's half the point.
Well, look, quickly go back to Will Wheaton. There was also another film called Toy Soldiers. I hope you guys seen that. That's got
Mhm.
Sean Astin as well. It's about a school that gets taken over by terrorists, and all these kids have to get together. But it had a more serious vibe about it as well. I know one of the kids gets killed as well. It has an actor called Andrew Divoff who plays the Wishmaster. He's a really fucking good actor. And obviously the legendary Lou Gossett Jr., who plays the Dean, who's got a mean machine. All right, so let's continue with some of these actors, unless anybody's got something to say. No? No? Okay.
Oh,
So,
Big Bang Theory cameos, but it's mostly self-appearing as himself. But
yeah, we're talking about like they're
okay, the
acting in
Guild.
roles, yeah.
Okay, the Guild. He was
The
on that with
Guild.
Felicia Day.
Oh, that takes me back. Yeah.
He led the the Axis of Anarchy.
Mm-hmm.
They were all dicks.
If you haven't seen the Guild web series, please go watch it. I highly recommend the Guild. This was old school back in streaming online videos, and it's very good. Yeah, and you're right. Felicia Day is in it.
You don't even have to be into MMOs to like it. It just has this kind of overarching appeal because they're this lovable group of misfits.
And there's a music video. So look up the music video.
There's the Bollywood style music video too.
There's
for
two?
Game On. Yeah, check it out. It's
Oh.
called Game On, and it's Bollywood style.
Okay.
So our cabbie friend might actually like that. He's kind of a Bollywood fan.
me? You mean Sam?
No, Sam, you're not.
I don't think so.
Is that someone else I'm thinking of?
You see, the reason Sam doesn't like Bollywood because he can't take a 3-hour fucking piece of shit film seriously when they're bursting into a fucking song every 5 fucking minutes. It drives him nuts. You know what I mean? So yeah,
Xanta, don't be
trust me.
racist. Come on, man.
Anyway, I want to triple 3 of these actors together and talk about them as a group. Michael Dorn, Maria Sirtis, and Gates McFadden. Now, I do remember Michael Dorn being in the episode of The Outer Limits, and it was really good to see him not in his makeup and shit like that, but I've only ever seen him as Worf. Maria Sirtis, famously, she was in Green Street 2, where she plays a prison warden, and she's fucking hard as nails. Nothing like Deanna Troy at all. Gates McFadden, I can't remember what I've seen her in other than Star Trek.
She did like some a lot of dance choreography in other movies, and I think she was like in the Muppets Take Manhattan. And Nana Visitor was also in The Outer Limits, as well as Leonard Nimoy was in The Outer Limits as well.
Yeah. And Brent Spiner as well, by the way, who I'm going to get to in a second.
Also Michael Dorn and Maria Sirtis, pretty big roles in Gargoyles, especially Maria Sirtis, who played Demona.
Right.
And
as well as Frakes.
Yeah, and what Coldstone? I think Coldstone was Michael Dorn's character.
Mm-hmm.
He did some Superman the Animated Series.
Yes, he did. Yeah. Dorn also played therapist on Castle that I used to watch.
Oh, cool.
Nathan Fillion.
His first role in film. This is his film debut and it's uncredited, but he was in Rocky as Apollo Creed's bodyguard.
Really?
Yeah. Did not know that until looking at it right here.
Who was?
Michael Dorn. Yeah, I'm sorry, Michael Dorn.
We're talking 1976 Rocky.
1976. Yep.
Oh my goodness.
He played a cop on Chips. Michael Dorn did.
Okay.
Oh yeah, he did.
I watched Chips.
I've never watched
Chips.
And he was in 31 episodes, so it wasn't like a
roller disco. Chips roller disco, made for TV movie.
Okay.
Well, hey, it was 70, man.
Sorry, I do apologize, but we got so many actors to go through right now, so I'm going to triple these 3 up as well. And we have Brent Spiner, LeVar Burton, and Denise Crosby. Now, Brent Spiner for me has been in several things. I've also seen him at the Limits. Famously for me, he was in Independence Day 1 and 2. Mm-hmm. And I loved him. And I know I've seen him on other stuff as well.
His
on Gargoyles.
Brent Spiner's career famously really got its first big break in a little show called Night Court.
Yep.
Yes, that's right. Night Court. I love that show. That was a good one. And I totally forgot what I was about to say.
He played like this redneck hillbilly, you know, kind of not very smart guy that was always, you know, he was always getting arrested on these silly blunders, you know. And they'd ask him like, what were you doing? And be some ridiculous thing like making moonshine or something, you know.
Or like blew up some chickens.
Yeah, he blew up some chickens or something. Yeah, it would always be something like, well, okay.
I'm going to look here to see who
also Brent Spiner played, what was his, I don't remember his name from Gargoyles, the little wish troll guy or whatever that came out of the mirror.
Yeah,
perfect role for him. What I want to say Mitzelflick or whatever, but isn't that's from Superman?
Yeah.
But that's who he reminds me of a little bit, you know, like the Gargoyles version of that.
His character name on Night Court was Bob Wheeler.
Yeah, Brent Spiner's been in lots of things. Sadly, some failed series. Yeah,
he was in Superhero Movie, one of those early 2000s parody movies.
You know you're gonna because I think he's one maybe outside of Patrick Stewart, he's probably the best actor on TNG. And so you know you're getting quality when you hire him because the guy's so versatile, you know. So
LeVar Burton, come on. Reading Rainbow.
Yes.
Take a look.
It's in a book.
Wasn't he in 14 Years a Slave?
Yeah,
series.
no.
He was Roots.
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 Roots, yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
And
Roots,
there was
sorry,
a
yeah.
there he did an episode on Star Trek: The Next Generation during Reading Rainbow that was really good. And then there was like this really weird crossover between Star Trek: The Next Generation and the show Webster
Yes.
in like the second season.
Well, it wasn't like in the show. There was, I'm sorry, on the show Webster, there was like a in universe for Webster visit to the set, and yeah, that's where he met Michael Dorn, who plays Worf.
It was a cute little show.
Yeah, but and who else was in that group of three?
It was Denise Crosby.
Oh, Denise Crosby. Pet Cemetery is one. The Walking Dead. She was.
Oh yes, yeah.
Was an antagonist for a season. Was it just?
She was in the first episode of Dexter.
Oh, that's right.
That's right.
Yeah.
And honestly, I've never watched a single episode of Dexter. I just remember seeing that somewhere and just remembering it.
Very
Dexter
good
was
show.
awesome. You should do.
I know.
Yes, you got to watch
keep
it.
telling me Dexter, I gotta watch a bunch of shows, but then I always just turn on Star Trek and I just get lost in it.
Comfort show.
I'll be honest with you. Like I finished like the first season of Dexter and I couldn't continue after that. I had my fill. You tried to make it look. Just keep it a bit more run of the mill. He's a serial killer who gets his kicks by killing serial killers. Just keep it with that, and they tried to make it a bit more,
Do you remember the in the late 90s there were a dual asteroid going to hit Earth?
Oh yeah, that
disasters,
was
Armageddon or Deep Impact.
She was in Deep Impact. Yeah,
Deep Impact. Yeah, she played the mother of the daughter who married Elijah Wood.
Yes,
I remember. Yeah,
the kid that discovered.
And they only married them so that they thought that they could all go into the safety pod, but no, they couldn't. Only she could. So I remember that. I remember her death scene as well. She just kisses her husband and they wait for themselves to get drowned by the wave. It was very sad.
I'm pretty sure with the wave heading that fast, they got killed on impact, not by drowning.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Okay,
but otherwise, some smattering of some other stuff that was popular in the 90s. The Flash, she's in an episode of that.
Okay.
Adventures of Briscoe County Jr.
I have no idea what
in
that
an
is.
episode of that. 3 episodes of Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman. Did someone just say they don't know what The Adventures of Briscoe County Jr. was?
It sounds like something you would eat.
No, that's brisket.
Okay.
Put that on your list to watch.
You mentioned Lois and Clark. Jonathan Frakes was in an episode of Lois and Clark with his wife.
Yeah, I told you,
Francis.
We mentioned that earlier. Yeah. And when we spoke about him, but I want to quickly go on to the 2 more actors now from TNG before we.
So was Robert Beltran. Chakotay was in.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, I remember. So the last 2 actors from TNG, I want to talk about. One of them doesn't really need much introduction regarding what they've been in because they've been in stuff before they were in TNG, and that's Whoopi Goldberg. She has been in so much shit; it's unbelievable. Oh look, this fucking Greek bastard seen it. Bruce Campbell is in it apparently. Okay,
groovy.
Okay, welcome Daniel Vance. Welcome. I'm sorry. So yeah, Whoopi Goldberg. I don't think we need to talk about too much. Jumping Jack Flash, The Color Purple, Ghost.
I mean, she's been in so much.
Yeah.
Honestly, she's not a Trek actor in my opinion. Like she is a Trek actor, but she was honestly she was more of a celebrity before Trek than after Trek. You know what I mean? Like Patrick Stewart was a celebrity because of Trek. A lot of Trek actors are celebrities after Trek.
No, but this is not necessarily about whether you're a celebrity before or after. It's just what they've been in, outside of regardless of them being famous. Even the good thing about Whoopi Goldberg is that she made it fashionable for movie stars to be on TV. because she loves Star Trek. She
Yeah.
loves Star Trek, and she really wanted to be in it. And people were surprised that she wanted to be in it. Even
Yeah,
I
they
was
didn't believe
surprised that
her.
she was in
They
it.
didn't believe her when she called and asked to be in the show. They thought she was joking. Now, Mark Hamill was kind of the same thing. Mark Hamill wanted to be in the 1990 Flash TV show, and he called up and they laughed at him. They were like, "Yeah, it's a funny joke." And he's like, "No, just let me know when my call time is." They're like, "What?" And he's like, "I'm going to play the trickster."
Yep.
No, I'm Mark Hamill. I'm telling you, I'm going to be in your show. I'm playing the trickster. Let me know when my call time is. And they're like, "But we're not really doing those cartoon." No. I'm Luke fucking Skywalker. I'm going to be in your show. Let me know what the day is. And by God, he got his way.
He even showed up in the modern day Flash too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Same role.
Play the same role, the trickster.
Perfect role.
On Earth 3.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
and it was more of a Joker too. Like he kind of played it more as the Joker, but
that was the
bit.
closest we'll ever get to Mark Hamill playing live action Joker. Yeah.
Batman animated series.
Mm-hmm.
So finally, the last person I want to talk about from TNG is Mr. QAnon himself, John Delancey. John Delancey has been in a lot of stuff, but for me, I remember him fondly as the creepy doctor who liked to molest his patients in The Hand That Rocked the Cradle. I'm not sure if you guys seen that movie. There was a scene where he's like touching up his patients, and she knows that she's being violated, but he's really pretending like he's like just like doing a medical on her, but the woman knows that she's being violated, and at one point he has to put his hand inside her, which is something doctors have to do at times, but he takes off the glove. It's so fucking sick. He has a rubber glove on, and he sneakily takes off the glove and puts his hand inside her, and she knows she's being violated. And John Delancey played that role. He was so fucking creepy in that role, man. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up, Ginger. The John Delancey plays, is it Chaos in My Little Pony? The only reason I know this is because during the height of My Little Pony's like resurgence in the cartoon, guess who had to sit there and watch it with his daughter? This guy. When I heard, I think his name was Chaos or something like that, or Mayhem. I can't remember his name in the show, but like I'm sitting there listening, I'm going, that's freaking Q. And I'm like, this makes absolute sense why this episode is so good.
He was also in some Breaking Bad.
Yes, he was Jane's father, the air traffic controller.
Yep.
Yeah.
For me, it was most notably that he was Colonel Frank Simmons in Stargate SG-1.
Yep.
Who is a nasty bad guy who ended up getting killed by the hero of the show, Colonel Jack O'Neill, in season 6.
Highly recommend Stargate to anyone who hasn't seen it. I'm looking here to see who he played on My Little Pony, and
it's Chaos, or he's right. It's like Chaos or something.
I'm not seeing that on here at all. That show. Hold on, I'm not seeing that on his. Unless I'm just completely here. Discord.
Yeah, it was some kind of like chaos type word or something. Yeah.
Right.
And a fun note. From the fan film perspective, he was in Star Trek Continues.
Oh.
He was in the second to the last episode.
As Q?
What ships are for? No, he played an alien on a planet. It was like a racism and immigration type episode where they addressed immigration and racism, and they had these aliens that couldn't see color, and so they didn't know that all these other aliens had immigrated to their planet. And then when the Enterprise fixed some kind of radiation thing, they could all see each other, and there was like orange aliens and green aliens, and
sounds like They Live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but it was more kind of a metaphor for just immigration. And John Delancey played kind of the leader of the orange aliens. It's actually a really good episode if you go check it out. What Ships Are For is the name of the episode.
What shits are for?
What ships?
Oh.
Waka waka, Cheeto.
It's the metaphor of like a ship anchored in the harbor is safe from the storm, but that's not what ships are for. Is the quote that the title's derived from. But it was a one of those humanity, Star Trek addresses a modern problem in a metaphorical way kind of fan. So it's pretty good if you go check it out.
Okay, well, we're gonna go check out now DS9, and let's start with our boy Avery Brooks, who plays Benjamin Sisko. Now,
A Man Called Hawk.
Yes, I knew that's the one. And Spencer for Hire.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Man Called Hawk was a spinoff.
For me, it has to be American History X. Like that role he played, and it's really good because he finally got through to Edward Norton's character about saying all of this stuff, hating black people, doing this, doing that. The one thing you should ask yourself: has it made your life better? And he realized it hadn't, and it was such a great response. I was like, oh, that was powerful shit right there, and I love it. What a great role that was. Fantastic.
That same year, he was in The Big Hit with Mark Wahlberg, played a character by the name of Paris. And The Big Hit is another movie that I think deserves to be somewhere on your to-watch movie list. But
Okay.
Here's another interesting story about Avery Brooks and A Man Called Hawk. So when he was being looked at for the part of playing Sisko, the reason that he had pretty much in the late TV career, they were not late TV career, but in that time, his look, the bald head, goatee, they didn't want him to have that look on DS9 because there were two reasons. One, they were afraid that TV audiences would be confused because when he played Hawk, that was from 1985 to 1988. That was Spencer for Hire, and then 1989, A Man Called Hawk. And so between those two, that was 78 episodes. And so DS9 premiered in 93.
93, yeah.
93. And the other reason was because they didn't want the character to look too urban.
Oh my God.
So 90s Trek at its basically a polite way of saying you look too much like a black man.
Yeah. Oh God.
You're little too black for being the lead character in Star Trek.
And it was
first off, we don't want Trek to be woke because Trek has never been woke before. I mean,
it's the same garbage as what they were doing in Voyager, where they were telling people the human characters can't emote, they have to be stoic, they have to be, it was just kind of trying to fit this bizarre vision of the future thing where there was no conflict. And so they were trying to make Sisko just real. If you notice in the first couple of seasons, he's just like, hey, I'm Sisko. And he's like real nice and gentle and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And again, the best thing that ever happened to Deep Space Nine was Voyager, because all the higher ups started ignoring Deep Space Nine at that point. And then Ira Stephen Bear's like, all right.
Yes. Let's do this.
And look, when he was the showrunner, Avery Brooks went to him and said, I don't want to look like this. This is not me. This is not who I am. And they, said, yeah, let's make this guy a badass. And they did. And that's when the show became good,
Yes.
One of my favorite things in the world is the supercut on YouTube of Sisko yelling at everyone.
I need to watch this.
Art, like if you compare Sisko and like Archer, Sisko makes this art form of yelling at people. It's entertaining, it's fun. Archer just always acts like somebody stole his Doritos. Just can't compare. There's only one.
Sisko, and he's such a badass. That was the thing I really liked about Sisko is he was never afraid to throw down on someone. I mean, he
punched Q.
Yeah, he punched Q.
Picard never punched him.
I'm not Picard.
Hey, Jefferson, somebody should play Cisco in a fan film.
Really? You know, I've been wondering. Yeah, absolutely. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. I've actually got some ideas and some scripting rolling around in my head that I think would work well. So that will be in the near future.
There is a possibility that this particular Cisco might be from the Terran universe because he has got a beard, and so yes, you know, we put that into the equation there.
We saw
Okay,
we saw the Cisco from the Terran universe, didn't we?
I'm having a joke for fuck's sake. Man. All right, okay, okay, Nana Visitor. What the hell has she been in?
Who?
Kira Nerys.
Not think, really anything that I know of. I
does
mean,
she pronounce it Nana or Nana?
Nana.
Nana.
Nah.
But you know, she started the trend of like tight bodysuits. You know,
Berman started that trend.
Oh yeah. I guess
I was about to say I no, that wasn't. I mean, did you not see Deanna Troy in TNG? Like what?
Yeah, sorry, I apologize.
You just block that one out.
No, but she was wearing a variety of different outfits. She would be wearing skirts and stuff like that. You know, she wasn't always wearing a bodysuit. You know, so it was hard to remember.
She was
and then eventually, yeah.
She was in the 2009 Friday the 13th. And
yeah. She played Jason's mom. I remember
Pamela Voorhees.
Yeah. She played Pamela Voorhees in that. Yeah.
And
yeah.
In 2015, she was in Ted 2 as an adoption agent.
Oh, God, I saw Ted. I don't remember that.
I haven't seen Ted 2. So.
Oh wait, Ted or you said Ted 2?
Ted 2.
Oh no, I don't think
I didn't know there was a Ted 2.
Yeah.
Prior to Deep Space Nine, she was on Matlock 3 times.
Yep.
As different characters.
Okay.
Yeah. She was on Night Court? How did I miss that?
Mm-hmm.
She had, it looks like, at least an appearance in everything you could name from the 80s and 90s. You name the show, she probably had an appearance in it. She was on Battlestar Galactica, the newer one.
Oh
yeah. Family Guy, of course. I think everyone in Star Trek has been on Family Guy.
Yeah, they had a whole Star Trek: The Next Generation themed episode in 2007 or something.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot to say, Avery Brooks was also in Gargoyles. He played an alien.
Oh.
In one episode.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to go to an actor now who really got into the swing of things as DS9 started to find its feet, and that is Andrew Robinson, who plays Garak. Andrew Robinson has been in everything. You know, we took him way back in the day. He was in bloody Dirty Harry. I'm not sure if you see. Yeah, we played a terrorist in that. You know, he's been in lots of things.
Texas Ranger.
Oh yes, yeah, for sure. Yeah, he was in Cobra. He's in Cobra with
Sylvester Stallone.
He was in Hellraiser 1 and 2.
So what does he have against G.I. Joe? If he's in Cobra.
Really?
Oh God! You see, this you can tell he's a parent, but he makes these fucking dad jokes, man. Child play free. Shoot the
Hellraiser.
Kid. Yeah, Hellraiser. He's got quite a decent amount of work before he became Garak, which is, in my opinion, the best thing he's ever done. Of all of the things he's ever done, Garak for me is fantastic. Well, you know, it's worthy of his acting career to be in a prominent role like that, which defines him. So yeah, Andrew Robinson for sure. Okay, so on to, and by the way, anytime you guys want to jump in, let me know. Because we need to start really going through these.
Well, then let's talk Bashir and Jedzia Dax and Ezri Dax. I don't remember them really being on anything in particular, unless you guys do.
Ezri Dax was the Dead Zone for a long time. Nicole DeBoer. Terry Farrell moved on to Becker, which was a sitcom.
Yes, I know that. Yeah.
Sid has done a lot of. He's gone on to play in a lot of dramas where he would basically more fully embrace his cultural heritage. So he would play more racial specific roles.
Alexander Siddig was in fucking Game of Thrones, man.
Yep.
He was. Yeah, he was in Game of Thrones.
Alexander Siddig was also in this movie with zombies. He plays the Prime Minister of England. He gets killed off very early on in the film. Alexander Siddig was also in this really good BBC drama where he plays a Middle Eastern guy who is like an agent for the British who's trying to uncover Middle Eastern terrorists within the United Kingdom. And the ending of his character is so sad because he just about gets through to this one kid who's got a suicide vest on him, and he hugs the kid, but the kid ends up pulling the thing on the vest and killing them both. You know, it's like, oh my god, I couldn't believe that ending, man. Yeah,
he was on 24.
Yeah,
he was on 24 for several
yeah,
episodes.
He was on 24. Yeah,
Right.
Alexander Siddig's been in a lot of shit. He really has. He's been. He's done a lot.
Going back to Terry Farrell, so she, when it came time to look at going into season 7, she was looking at the opportunity to move on to this other show to secure work, because basically season 7 of DS9 was going to be the last one. So if you're smart, you look for that next opportunity that you can get, which she was able to find. And for season 7, the idea that she took to Rick Berman was for her character to get a promotion to have command of a ship. And with it being the Dominion War, the ship would be it would be out there. There would be some appearances because, of course, you have ships that make station at DS9. So it would have been perfect to allow her that time to do the filming for Becker and have a very plausible reason to some absence of Jadzia Dax on DS9. But Rick Berman and all his infinite wisdom said no.
Yeah,
your focus is on this show, and she had to walk.
And she actually technically could, because even though it was going to be 7 seasons, the contracts were only 6 when they.
That's right. That's what it was.
So they had to kind of sign on for another season, and she decided, she was like, well, my contract's up and I need to find something else to do. If you guys want me for another year, we're going to have to work something out because I got to go find something else to do. And they were just like, oh, eat it. And they did her dirty, man. It was the wrong thing to do.
Oh, absolutely.
I agree. Sorry, Chito. I agree with all of you guys. But I do like the concept of the Dax symbiote being in another body in the season of DS9. I find that very appealing personally. I think that's pretty cool.
Well, yeah, the producers made the most of it, and it worked out.
They made the most of an issue that they created.
Well, they made the most of an issue Rick Berman created.
Okay, that's a better way to say it.
Rick Berman caused the problem, and the writers, Ron Moore and those guys figured out how to fix it. So.
Okay, so finally, now this guy's surname I can never get right, but I always feel like butcher it. It's Odos, played by Rene
Auberjonois.
Okay. So these 3 actors: Rene Auberjonois, Arma Shimmerman, and Colm Meaney. Now I've seen Rene Auberjonois in so many fucking things. I just wish I could remember what they were. But I know he.
Boston Legal, The Practice, a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah, he kind of has. He's a perfect Ferengi. Are you talking about Renee? Right?
Renee. Yeah. No, Renee was in. He was also, both Renee and Armin Shimmerman were in Stargate SG-1 at various points, as was Marina Sirtis.
Renee had great voice roles too.
Yeah. So and both Renee and Armin were in, I think, Boston Legal.
Armin Shimmerman was also in Buffy the fucking Vampire Slayer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
now go ahead.
Sorry, go on. No, please.
I just was gonna. I forgot. Yeah. Also, Terry Farrell's husband is Adam Nimoy, or was? Are they divorced?
I think they're divorced, but it hasn't been very widely publicized.
Yeah.
Gotcha. There was Oh shoot, what was I? Armin Shimmerman played a Ferengi in the first season
TNG.
of TNG,
Mhm.
and he always regretted the portrayal that he had
Mhm.
of the character because that basically set the Ferengi back. The intention of the Ferengi at the time was going to be the main antagonist for the next generation. Once that episode happened and the way the Ferengi were portrayed,
Yeah.
it basically became it's a joke.
Yeah. In fact, the plan was for the Ferengi to be the new bad guys of the show because they wanted to show that, oh, we made peace with the Klingons, so we need a new bad guy. So they come up with the Ferengi and they're building them up for all these episodes. Oh, the Ferengi. And when we finally see them, they're just like pathetic. They're like, oh crap, we're gonna have to come up with a new bad guy. And so executive producer at the time, Maurice Hurley, was like, let's do this thing called the Borg.
The Borg.
Yes. And that
Even though they
forever
did have
changed Star
run-ins with
Trek.
the Klingons, and honestly, I felt like the Romulans were in season 1 because
They were.
the end.
Last
What
episode.
was it? The Lost Outpost, right?
The neutral zone was
The
The
neutral
neutral
zone.
zone was when, I mean, that was a great episode when like the Romulans came back and you had Gold Dukat's actor there and he was just grandiose. Like, oh man, like I think they really missed a trick with the Romulans. I know that they peppered them in throughout the series, but I really felt like the Romulans could have been their like main villain of that series.
Two quick points. Well, a couple. The Romulans, if the writer's strike hadn't happened in '89, the Romulans would have teamed up with the Federation to fight the Borg in season 2.
What?
That was,
what?
That was what they were gonna. That's why they were doing the whole outpost thing. Is they were gonna solve it together, and the Federation and the Romulans were gonna have to work together to beat the Borg. Armin Shimmerman kind of redeemed the Ferengi at the end of season 2 by playing a Ferengi again in the next to the last episode. Peak performance, much better performance in that one. Now, you brought up Mark Alimo.
Knight Rider.
Total Recall.
Total Recall.
Oh, yes, Total Recall.
Yeah.
Once, and I interviewed him because he was on camera, and God, I wish I had the tape still. But I asked him, he was in an episode of Walker, Texas Ranger, where he played a villain, and what happened? He got his ass whipped by Chuck Norris.
Well, I mean,
surprise.
And I said to him, what was it like? What was it like to get your ass whipped on screen by Chuck Norris? Was it an honor? And he's like, it's not funny. He almost killed me. I was like, what? Tell me the story. And he's like, there's this scene. Chuck Norris jumps out of a tree, wipes him off a horse, and gets him in a rear naked choke. And he was like, he had his whole arm around my neck, and he was, stomps his foot, killing me. I'm not kidding you. And I was like, it's too hard. And for 2 weeks, I could barely swaddle. He says that to me, and I busted out laughing. I couldn't help it. And Mark Alamo goes, and he laughs. What's the point?
It just gave you the full Ducat treatment, like the full. Oh my god.
Okay, guys. Okay, let's quickly get through this. Colin Meaney. For me, there's 3 films that he's been in that I remember. One, obviously. Well, oh yeah, of course. Okay, 4 then. Con Air. He was in Con Air.
Yep.
And his car gets fucked up. I love that. Now, there's a film I really recommend you should see. It's got Daniel Craig in it as well. It's called Layer Cake. It's a really, really good British gangster movie. And Colin Meaney is in that. And he's very, very hardcore in that. And then there's another film which is a total 180 to that, where he plays a man in Ireland who's trying to help his young daughter build a go-kart in a go-kart race. I'm not sure if you've seen that film as well. It's a lovely little story, nice little family-friendly comedy. But yeah, he's been in a few things, mainly films, not sure about TV. So, okay.
Stargate
no problem,
Atlantis,
mate.
where he played a villain, and Hell on Wheels
Wheels
with Anson Mount.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so look, just some honorable mentions here because we can't go through them all. There's Jake Sisko, played by Kirkland Lofton, and Aaron Essenberg, rest in peace, but Max Gordon Chick, who plays Rom. We can't go through everybody because we need to now. get on to Voyager. Star Trek Voyager, that is. Okay, so Kate Mulgrew, she has been in a series that I've only watched one season of, and that is The Orange is the New Black. And she is a fucking jailbird in that. She's fucking hardcore, man.
Mobsters, Russian mobster's wife.
Yeah. She's really good. She's
Guys,
sorry.
I said we need to talk about shows outside of Star Trek. That was Voyager, okay? Like, I mean,
Kate Mulgrew's major claim to fame prior to Voyager was Mrs. Columbo.
yeah, and she was also on Cheers. A lot of
Tons of people were on Cheers.
I say
it was
a lot of
holodeck simulation.
Yeah.
The lady that kidnapped, the lady that held Riker, and like basically raped him off screen in that one episode was
the one in the red dress.
Yeah, with the glasses on that planet where he was locked up in the medical facility when he was undercover. He was disguised as one of the aliens on the planet.
That was Julia Louis-Dreyfus. That was Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Elaine from Seinfeld.
Yeah,
was the one that played the character with the glasses that wanted to.
I could have. Oh wow! I thought that was Fraser's wife from Cheers.
From Lilith.
Yeah, I thought that was Lilith.
Wait a minute.
It was Lilith.
Oh yeah, it was Lilith. Okay, for some reason I always get that actress and Mary Louise Dreyfus.
Yeah,
they have that similar kind of I don't know, dark hair.
No.
But yeah, you're right. It was Lilith.
Just giving you some of her filmography. She was in Remo Williams, Remo Unarmed and Dangerous, back in 1985 with Fred Ward. I love that movie. A lot of people hate it. I love that film. She was also in Roots, The Gift, not the same one as LeVar Burton, but nevertheless,
also
she was
with Avery Brooks and Tim Russ.
Yep.
Oh, small world indeed. So yeah, that's Kate Mulgrew.
Robert, on a soap opera called Ryan's Hope.
Okay. Well, Robert Beltran is next, and I'm quickly looking at his filmography right now. He's 70 years old. My God, I feel old. Yeah. So Robert Beltran, he's been in Lone Wolf McQuade.
With Chuck.
Yeah, Shadowhunter. Nothing really stands out like it's a significant movie. Going through Street Hawk. Oh my God, I love Street Hawk. It was basically Knight Rider on a motorcycle. Yeah, so good back in the day. But
the thing about Robert Beltran is that he really wanted to be like a Shakespearean type actor, and he rarely admits it because he's at least gracious enough to care about the fact that he has fans. But he absolutely hates that he was on Star Trek. Like it's. Yeah, with a passion. He does it. He does his responsibility to it. But there are some, you have to look for them. You know, go onto YouTube and type in Robert Beltran hates Star Trek, and you'll find it. But they're like, did you ever watch Star Trek before you run it? He's like, only long enough to change the fucking channel. Let's see William Shatner in his yellow outfit.
Yeah, he was well known for bashing on his character and bashing on Voyager as a whole.
To be fair, I mean, if I had to play the Chakotay character, I would probably be bashing it too. Now, I would not be like him and be like Matt. Like, there's two things about Beltran and Avery Brooks that I don't like. Is just that they're very dismissive of the Trek community, you know. Yeah. And I know that they had stuff before Trek, but let's be real. Like, their faces were recognizable because of Trek for the most part.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe not, maybe Avery Brooks, maybe not so much, but I mean, you know, so I really hate it when it's like, yeah, you have a disagreement with the show, like Terry Farrell, like she actually did it a good way. She's like, look, I was pissed at the producers. I was pissed, but she never ever like took it out on the fans.
Nope.
She always appreciated all the fans that loved Jadzia Dax and looked up to her. And, you know, and that's what I loved about Terry Farrell is just like she took it with grace, and yes, she was screwed, but you know what? She just took it in stride and just came out better, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So next on our list is Roxanne Dawson, who obviously played Bellana Torres. For me, I don't know anything she's done outside of Star Trek, but I do know that she's a pretty good director,
Yeah, that became
and
her focus.
and so if anybody's got anything to add, I'll quickly move on.
Just a lot of she directed a lot of Enterprise episodes, and one in it's either season 1 or 2 where she did a voice part in the episode she directed. I don't know which one it was, but she did a voice part in an Enterprise episode, but that was about it.
I think I know which one you're talking about. She was a computer, right?
She was a computer, yeah.
Was it it was a station or
It
something?
was that space station that they docked at to get repaired.
I love that episode.
They had to trade stuff for repairs.
I just love Enterprise rolling up to this place and they're just like, let's just dock our ship here and let it repair us. What could go wrong?
It's killing people.
Like,
and Archer's like, whatever.
I mean, all the station wanted was the Jerry Curl version of warp plasma, and who doesn't have a few ounces of that?
Dude, and they took Travis too. I'm like, you can't take Travis. He's like
your engineer.
We want a few liters of warp plasma, some scrap metal. Oh, and your navigator.
Yeah, and your navigator. It's like,
I'm gonna have to take this pause to cut out, gentlemen. Thank you so much for having me on. Everybody has a great evening.
Nice to meet you.
No problem. Okay, so on to somebody who had a reasonably good career after Voyager, and that's Jeri Ryan. I do remember her being in Dracula with Gerard Butler. And she plays like a journalist, and she gets bitten very early on and becomes one of Dracula's brides. And yeah, she's been in a few other things. She was in Mortal Kombat, where she played Sonya Blade.
Wasn't she on Boston Legal?
She was also
she was on Boston Legal.
Wow, Boston Legal. We're becoming like fucking Cheers now, Boston Legal. Jesus Christ.
There's I'm trying to recall the story. I only remember pieces of it, but Barack Obama being president is traced back to Jeri Ryan.
What the hell?
And it was something about Jeri Ryan's, I think, husband.
Yeah, he was in politics. Or
he was in politics. I think he was going to also run for the Democratic nomination, and there was some scandal.
There was a scandal because he was like a swinger, and it came out, and that kind of, I think, led to the end of his political career and also their marriage.
That kind of thing.
Why would you do that? What's wrong with you, man?
Dude, Jeri Ryan, like,
Jeri
for
Ryan,
real? Like, what kind of moron are you?
Come on, dude.
I know. It's just not enough
for you.
It's just not enough. So that's the story there.
Some people are just too greedy.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that, going back to Lois and Clark, The Adventures of Superman. There was this episode where some dude figured out some magic where he could swap bodies. And so he swaps bodies with Superman, and like he busts into the lab as Superman, and like whoever the guy was who swapped the bodies was like, "You couldn't have settled for Michael Jordan?"
She was in Young Love? Oh. I'll have to go back and look at that. Jeri, I'm assuming you're talking about Jeri Ryan or Roxanne Dawson. I don't know which one he's talking about.
Ryan. We were talking about Jeri Ryan, yeah.
So on to Mr. Troublemaker himself, Tom Paris, played by Robert Duncan McNeil. Now,
Masters of the Universe.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. That's all I know. That's all I know.
No, he played Nick Locarno, which is obviously not Tom Paris in The Next Generation.
It's still Star Trek.
And
I know.
He was in some episode of like The Outer Limits or something.
Oh, he was in The Frighteners.
Or The Twilight Zone or something like that, where he was like communicating with some lady that lived in like the 1800s through telepathy. It was, I don't remember. Like Roxanne Dawson, though, he moved on a lot to directing. And fun fact, he would direct Enterprise episodes wearing his Voyager costume.
Oh, would he?
There are photos of him like totally dressed up as Tom Paris, just like hanging out on set.
Oh,
there's a guy who obviously liked his time in Star Trek for sure.
Tom Paris was supposed to be Nick Locarno, but they did not want to pay the royalties to. Was it Maurice Hurley that
the writer?
It was just whoever wrote the episode.
It was the writer of the episode.
I don't remember who it was, but yeah, they did not want to pay royalties. So
I guess they had to get over that for Lower Decks.
I wonder if it's different because it's animation, though.
Could be.
Or it was one episode. I mean, with Voyager, you're talking about royalties for episodes over 7 seasons.
7 years versus 2 episodes.
That adds up.
So he was also in The Fractioners with Michael J. Fox. Have you seen The Fractioners? He also Jeffrey. Yeah, he also had Jeffrey Combs in that as well, by the way. So yeah, Michael J. Fox. Yeah, he plays some sort of ghost hunter. No one's seen that.
So he was in something with Tyler Donovan. Is that what you're?
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on now to somebody who's been in lots of things, and that's Robert Picardo, who plays the Doctor. Now, for me, Robert Picardo is the cowboy.
Yes, Inner Space.
Inner Space. Yeah, I love that film. I love that film so much. Yeah,
and he was a taxi driver in Total Recall. The voice.
Yes.
Oh,
yes. Johnny Cab.
Yes. Johnny Cab.
My favorite part is where Arnold gets in the Johnny Cab and he's like, please state a destination. And Arnold's like, he's seeing the bad guys run towards him. And he's like, shit. And the Johnny Cab's like, you're not familiar with that address.
Drive.
Anywhere, just go.
Then he had to rip the thing out and drive.
You brought that up, Zam.
Oh, sorry. That was regarding The Fractioners. It was Peter Jackson movie. Yeah, the cowboy was such a great role. Yeah, I did like it.
Yeah.
And he showed his acting range because he had to act like Martin Short when Martin Short changed into the cowboy.
Yeah.
So and he's been in many other things as well. So
played Richard Woolsey in both Stargate SG-1 and Stargate Atlantis.
Yep.
Well, we're on to Ethan Phillips, who plays everybody's favorite nonce, Neelix.
Star Trek First Contact. That's all I know him from.
Play the waiter, First Contact.
Yeah.
Oh, he's been in other things. Yeah. I know he's been in other things. I've seen him.
Other Star Trek, he was a Ferengi in the season 3 episode Menage a Troi.
Yes.
He was in Critters 3 and The Island with Scarlett Johansson and Ewan McGregor. He was in that, which is interesting. He's also been in The Purge election year as well. The Man Without a Face with Mel Gibson. That was a great film, by the way. So yeah, he's been in a few things.
All right.
Sorry, let's get through these guys. Garrett Wang.
I mean, he was voted he was in the top 50 sexiest men on television. Like that's why Kess got axed.
Yes, the chopping block was up. It was either going to be Harry Kim or Kess. Somebody had to go.
So I heard they were going to promote him and then kill him. It was going to be great.
Yeah.
happy promotion day, Lieutenant.
So Harry Kim or Garrett Wong kept his job, and Jennifer Lean ended up in jail.
Yep.
See, I always thought with Jennifer Lean, by the way, she was also in American History X as well, by the way.
In a movie called a kind of obscure movie called SLC Punk.
But I always thought they got rid of her, but they wanted a fine piece of ass like Jerry Ryan to walk around in a skin tight outfit. That's why I thought they did. I genuinely, that's why I genuinely thought that's why they got her.
She had an allergy to the makeup, she would break out when they were doing the makeup. And if you notice in the last few episodes that she was in, she didn't wear it. They grew her hair out and just covered her ears and stuff. But she had that one of the factors in her leaving the show was she had a makeup allergy.
Oh man, that sucks. But
okay, so finally,
it's for the
sorry,
best.
go on.
I was just going to say it was for the best,
Finally,
Not
we
for the
have
best for her.
we have Tim Ross, who, in my opinion, was fantastic in Spaceballs.
We ain't found shit.
Yeah,
He was in a lot of things. He was in a lot of little things. That's the most memorable things, but he was in a lot of little stuff.
He was in a series called The Highwayman with Sam Jones, who was Flash Gordon back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
We had an interview with Tim Russ one time on Beyond Trek podcast.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now Tim Russ went on to become very big in Star Trek fan films for a while.
He was on Axanar, right?
He was not in Axanar. He directed Star Trek Of Gods and Men.
That's right. Okay.
And he was one of the big leads with Walter Koenig in Renegades.
Renegades is the one I'm thinking of. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought he was in one of those big, like one of the big fan films, at least, right? Wasn't Renegades one of those big ones?
Yes.
Renegades was one of the top contributors to the formation of the guidelines.
Yeah.
Because
Axanar, Renegade,
because Renegades, like Axanar, also raised almost $1 million. And
Paramount wanted that money.
Well, they were going around telling people that they were making a pilot for CBS or whatever, and CBS said, "Don't say that." And then they were like, "We're going to make a series with seasons," and that was kind of like what led to the guideline that said you can't make episodes and you can't make seasons and you can't make a series. Was they were the guidelines again. I've been talking with a lot of people about this, the past few days. It was about kind of stopping these really high dollar productions that had a lot of Star Trek actors in them. That's what CBS said when they made the guidelines is, when you have a fan film that has, 20 plus Star Trek actors in it and people who were in Star Trek behind the camera as well, you're not making a fan film. You're kind of making Star Trek. And if you're saying you're going to put Star Trek characters in it and Star Trek actors in it, and you're going to make seasons in a series, then you're competing with CBS. And I think that, they're going to be concerned about that. They're not going to be concerned about 200 fan films shot on somebody's phone made by a guy in Junction City, Kansas, who works in a sausage factory, So you have to understand the spirit of the law, why it was created. So and where they don't.
And then Star Trek Hidden Frontier went and did that. They made didn't they make 7 seasons?
They did.
They did
7 seasons, and they had 2 spinoff.
Odyssey and
Melina Chronicles.
Yeah.
Man, Hidden Frontier, it's one of the OGs of fan films.
I remember watching those back in the day. Yeah. But my problem with those ones though is that they didn't do enough episodes. You know what I mean? They had 3 episodes a season. I kind of draw the line there. I'm at least give us 6, 7. I know Melina.
They
Chronicles,
did more.
Odyssey.
There were more episodes. Yeah, in Hidden Frontier, there were more episodes as seasons went along.
Yeah, but I'm talking about when they split Odyssey and Melina Frontier. Melina Chronicles. There were only a couple episodes per season, and I just, I don't know. It's hard to get behind characters when you have such limited time with them.
Right.
Not like the Avalon universe where you can get behind all those characters because you've got plenty of material to go with them.
Unless we kill them in the second episode.
Listen, they've got to be Menard's girlfriend in order if they're going to die. Okay.
Yeah.
The tragedy of Menard.
Tragedy of Menard's girlfriend.
But luckily we have the Cosmic Stream, which is kind of like our version of the Speed Force. So if a character dies, they just end up in the Cosmic Stream.
Yeah.
Okay, so very quickly, he was in Death Wish 4. I remember him in Death Wish 4. He'd be coming in and goes, "Hey, man." That's Tim Ross. And we also saw him in Crossroads, which is the Ralph Macchio film about the guitar showdown he had, which was pretty good. And he was also in what is this? Journey to the Center of the Earth and and Fire with Fire and I don't know, and Die Hard 4. He was in that too. So yeah, very good, very good, very good. Okay, so I think we're done with
I mean,
the voice.
really, the only person you can, I think, talk about in Enterprise is Scott Bakula. Like, I mean,
Yeah,
everybody else is.
we could skip the rest of
Yeah.
Enterprise.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would say Jolene Ballock. It's got back to obviously he was in
Quantum Leap.
yep.
Quantum Leap and by the way, you need to start joining me for that.
I
Joshua.
know.
Yeah.
They don't have any
Yeah.
episodes yet.
He's been
No, there's
busy.
episode 7 came out on recently, and episode 8 will be coming out today. I'll be reviewing that tomorrow. But
Okay, I'll take a look.
episode 7 was about the Salem witch trials and shit like that. And you
Yep.
have to convince all these fucking crazy religious nutcases not to fucking burn people to death.
Yeah. I like the new. I like the new
So,
Quantum Leap.
I do
It's
too.
good.
Yeah, me
It's a
too.
good
Me
show.
too.
I-
But Jolene Ballock, I've seen her in a couple of things. She actually played Delilah in this movie about Samson, and she was basically like a femme fatale, and obviously somebody as beautiful as her can play a femme fatale quite easily. But I do remember that role where she played Delilah, and she cuts Samson's hair and stuff like that, and blinds him and betrays him, and all of that sort of stuff. Yeah, it was a
she
good role for him.
she was in an episode of Stargate, but I don't recall if it was SG-1 or Atlantis.
It was SG-1. It was 2 episodes.
Oh, it's 2. Okay.
Yeah, and she was Teal'c's girlfriend, Ishtar of the Hackteal.
Yep. She was a model before Enterprise. Like that
Yeah,
was
no
her first
doubt.
acting gig.
Yeah,
And
a lot of these actors started off as models, and they had the natural gift for it. Mila Jovovich was a model initially. What's her face from The Mask? Oh God,
the mask you're talking about, the one with
yeah,
Eric.
with Tim Curry and what was her name? She was a debut role in that film.
Which
She's
film?
been John Malkovich, and she's been in so many things. She's been in Vanilla Sky. She's been why is
Oh, you're
her
talking
name
about
escaping me?
Penelope Cruz.
No,
correct?
not Penelope Cruz.
Oh, okay.
Oh God, I'm gonna have to find out.
It's been a long time
Um,
since I've seen The Mask. I think I watched it in the theater.
Are
and
you,
haven't seen it
wait,
since.
are you the blonde?
Why was her name escaping me?
Cameron Diaz was the blonde.
Diaz.
Yeah,
in
Cameron Diaz
The
was
Mask.
Cameron Diaz
blonde. Is
was
that who you're talking about?
Okay,
was
you're talking about
was a
Cameron
model first and an actress second, and she's a fucking good actress, man. But if you do see her in being John Malkovich, where she's not playing pretty whatsoever, then she's obviously showing her acting chops, and she was really good in that. But yeah, sorry, I kind of went on a little tangent there. But yeah, regarding Enterprise, I'm thinking of the guy who plays the British actor.
Malcolm, the character Malcolm Reed.
Yeah.
That's
he was in a series in England called Desmond's. Yeah, where it's basically about a barber shop, a black barber shop. It's really,
Okay.
really good because there's a big West Indian
Dominic.
culture here in the UK. Dominic,
Dominic Keating.
yes, and
Yeah.
And he played he came into the series later in the series Desmond later on, and they were hiring looking for a new barber, and then he comes in, this white guy in a black barber shop, and he's really good at cutting Afro Caribbean hair, and so they keep him. Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, and
John
yeah,
Billingsley, we could talk about. Another one we had on Beyond Trek podcast. We had John Billingsley. We talked about is Hollywood Food Bank charity, and he's been in some stuff. He was in Orville. He's an episode of the Orville.
yeah,
Yeah,
He's in a
with
few things.
Robert Picardo.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's right.
We were in
Yeah.
the same episode.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
two doctors. But they
Yeah.
were like, I think they were just like rich. Weren't they just like wealthy family members? I think, or
So it was like Robert Picardo was playing Ilara Katan's father.
Yep.
Mhm. Because he
And
showed up, I think, in season 3 too, at least for a cameo.
right. And Billingsley, John Billingsley was like the bad guy of the episode. He was the villain. And then John Billingsley was another guy who was in Stargate SG-1. And the fun part about that is that one of the scenes he's in, he's making fun of Star Trek. So like he's in this scene with another character and they're like making fun of each other, like, well, if this was a Star Trek convention, you'd be all dressed up as a Klingon. And he's like, no, I'd be a Vulcan. And I don't know how you can call yourself a scientist and not worship at the altar of Roddenberry.
Yeah.
Which is some of the flack I've gotten from Glenn Wolfe with Crisis on Infinite Excaliburs. He's like, how can you have Stargate crossover with Star Trek when they made fun of Star Trek on Stargate? And I said, in Rick and Morty, there was a dimension where hats wear people. And that was the end of that conversation.
Because you can pretty much do whatever you want now with sci-fi.
I mean, multiverse is just blowing it all up. Like, I mean, let's be real. Like, multiverse theory and multiverse inclusion is like the best and worst thing that has ever happened to sci-fi ever. Like think about like maybe scientists and like theorists that have known about the multiverse for years, but once the multiverse started becoming common knowledge to like normal people, now it's like, it's just all out the window. It's,
it is.
Now that they're not afraid to use stuff like that on people, they're like, oh no, they won't be confused if there's 15 Iron Mans in a room.
By the way, there is one film with Scott Bakula that I really liked. It's called Necessary Roughness. I'm not really into this American football bullshit, but I didn't mind that film. I didn't mind that film at all. Listen, no offense, your sports are like they're just there to have fucking timeouts so you can have commercial breaks. You need a fucking
those
sport.
are fighting words.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You need a sport like football. I refuse to say the S word.
It's soccer.
You should hear him say soccer. He's
which is the most popular sport in the world.
But really what it is hand egg.
Well, somebody told me the reason why you guys call your sport football is that the ball is 1 foot long tip to tip. And I believed that for a long time, and then I realized it was wrong. So that's not the reason. But that almost made sense, but nevertheless.
I have no idea what they call it.
But yeah, Necessary Roughness is a really good film. It's got Scott Bakula in it. He plays like a washed out, ex-star and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it, it was a good role. So,
I played football, and I have not ever heard of that football was a foot long. That's crazy.
It wasn't the truth, but I thought it was for a long time, and so I was actually telling people this.
Also, that's what you were thinking. Gotcha.
Yeah, but somebody told me this, that an American person told me this, and I thought, okay, well, they must know what they're talking about. They're American, and then I realized, no, they're American. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. So that's why I was mistaken. But nevertheless.
We'll do things just to piss off the rest of the world.
No doubt.
Like
we were just like, hey, guess what? We're gonna
realize the reason we drive on the opposite side of the road from you is because we want to drive just to be like, well, those assholes in the rest of the world drive on this side, so we're going to drive on that side. That's why we do things.
We don't even do
and the rest of Europe. The rest of Europe drive the same as you guys, so don't worry, you're not that different. It's just that us and only the United Kingdom and the Republic of Ireland drive on the other side of the road in Europe. I wish we all drove the same. I don't care if it's your side or my side. It'll be so much easier because I'm too afraid to drive in your country, and I really want to. Anyway,
I think they do it the other way in Australia, don't they?
Yeah, because Australia they do. Australia, New Zealand, Japan.
I think we
China,
did it specifically
India.
to not be England.
Basically, most of the British colonies do, except for maybe Canada. Canada doesn't, but most of the British colonies do drive on the other side of the road.
The U.S. is so petty that would be exactly why we drive on the side.
They're
of
like
the road
the
that we
big
do.
FU to the monarch, baby.
Yep.
Maybe next time find another language as well, and then you'll be giving us a fucking FU.
Listen,
at the moment you still Yeah.
If you heard our language, I mean, like it's so much. It's so bad. It's like
Yeah,
English
no
is so
It is its
bad.
own language. No.
Yeah, American
Let's
English
go.
is just so bad nowadays. All it is emojis nowadays. Like
Yeah.
smiley face, sad
What
face.
incarnation? Yeah, I know what you mean, man. Okay.
We talk in memes and gifs and emojis.
Yeah, I mean we're back to hieroglyphics. Like we it's all come full circle.
Yeah.
That's the truth. Okay, let's move on then from Enterprise. I think we've pretty much done that. Let's just do Voyager and Strange New World is as one entity, yeah. Not Voyager, sorry. Discovery
Discovery.
and Strange New World is one entity, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if
So,
we're gonna start this, man, I gotta pee. I'll be back. I thought we were ending at Enterprise.
Now, this is going to be ending. You think you can hold it? Okay, fair enough.
Can't
Oh
hold
my
it.
God.
Sorry, gotta pee.
My hair is going right in my nose, man. It's driving me fucking crazy. Okay, so oh god, why
So-
I need to. So Michael Burnham. Oh my
Discovery.
god,
She was on The Walking Dead.
yeah, she was. What the hell is the actress name again? Discovery.
Doug
Sonequa Martin Green.
Oh. Sonequa Martin Green, yeah.
Yeah.
Met her. She's very nice. I met her at a convention. She took 15 minutes and talked to me, and it was like my favorite, favorite person to meet at that convention, just because she was so nice.
Yeah.
I had a very pleasant conversation with her. She took a selfie with me. Very sweet. I'm a big fan of hers as a human being.
That's nice.
She was in something with the Space Jam, I think, or the
Yeah,
late-
she was in Space Jam 2. Space
Yeah.
Jam 2 with Leghorn Jim or something like that. The
She was
basketball
like
player.
LeBron James's wife. or
Yes,
something.
LeBron James. That's it. Yeah. So
You're calling him Leghorn Jim.
yeah. Well, he's basketball. We don't play the basketball, So, but anyway, so Mary Wiseman, who plays Tilly, I'm not sure she hasn't been in anything. Doug Jones, I've seen him in fan films, and Doug Jones famously played. I think Doug Jones played the blue guy in Hellboy. Yeah.
Doug Jones is, if you've just about any sci-fi movie there is, if you see any character that is on the tall and skinny side, that's probably Doug Jones. He has
Tell them
done
about the fan film we watched with what fan? It was a
It was a Star Wars fan film.
Yeah, it's a Star Wars fan film about Han Solo. What would Michael
It's
Costa?
one of the
Yeah.
Jamie. It's the Jamie Costa film.
Jamie Costa,
The
yeah.
guy who looks a lot like Robin Williams.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He's always playing like he was Obi-Wan. He was
We've done several of his on our channel. We were in love with him for a while.
he's great. He's great. He's a great
Well,
filmmaker, great actor.
When they saw his like little clip he made where he was about to do more he did a little scene where he was about to do some more Mindy filming, and then he found out that John Belushi had died of an overdose, and that whole moment of just being normal and then falling down and being unhappy and then having to pick himself back up again, to start doing the acting and stuff. It was just absolutely tremendous. I mean, I just really hope that people are saying that he might not play Robin Williams in a movie because he's not famous enough. No, that's not important. If he's good enough, people will watch it. Just give him a famous supporting cast, just to add to the razzmatazz, and put this guy fucking Robin Williams in the biopic because he's perfect for the role.
With Hollywood and what they're doing now in their reputation, who they would cast as in that character, Nicolas Cage or
Matt Damon
or Scarlett Johansson. Something
Scarlett
stupid like
Johansson
that.
is Robin Williams.
As Robin Williams, yeah, because she has to be in everything. Nicolas Cage has got to be in everything. So yeah,
Idris Elba.
Nicolas
Great
Cage.
Robin Williams.
Nicolas Cage is in debt, which is so why he's in everything at
Still?
the moment. Well, I don't know, but
There's that college humor skit where it's all the like stupid roles that he'll take, and they just okay, this one's really bad. I'm in.
Isn't that stupid movie about the He was in that stupid movie about the rapture, and all of that shit.
Oh, the Left Behind.
God.
Yeah, the Left Behind movies.
Oh God. Yeah.
I'm in. I'll do it.
And-
Sounds good.
Okay, so we have Anthony Rapp who plays Paul Stamets. Has he been in anything?
He's been in a lot of stuff. I just couldn't tell you what it is. He's
He
had
has
it.
Adventures in Babysitting, apparently.
Mhm.
Yeah, he must have been a kid in that. Okay, fair enough. We are trying to run this. Wilson Cruz. That guy is. Oh my God! I can't believe he's 50 years old, man. Jesus Christ, he's ripped.
He was
He's
in My
absolutely-
So-Called Life, the old '90s series called My So-Called Life.
Who is?
Supernova, apparently.
Wilson Cruz.
Yeah, who does he
Yeah.
play? Or on Discovery?
He played Culber.
Oh, Colbert. Okay. I just didn't know his real name.
Oh, gotcha. What else here?
And we have David
He was on-
Ajaya who plays Booker T, and I remember him in Supergirl, where he plays some British guy.
Manchester
He's
Black.
a British Manchester Black.
Yeah.
But what,
Dude,
why does every black superhero have to have black in their fucking names? Like,
Goku Black is white, and he doesn't have.
why can't you wouldn't be calling Blade Black Blade? That sounds stupid. You know what I mean?
Why is it
You
Black
know, like-
Panther?
I know. Yeah.
Why
I
is
just
it?
feel like I just feel that we're at a
White
time now
Spider-Man.
where, you remember this is like I love that like when watching Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and that kid went up to Falcon and he went to him, "Hey, Black Falcon." Like, he goes, "No, I'm just Falcon. I'm not Black Falcon." And this is I think this is
Green
very
Falcon.
important because honestly, like as an ethnic minority, we need to stop being determined. We need to stop having our race in our fucking superhero titles. We can just be called something without being referenced as a race as well, and
Mhm.
I think this particular thing needs to stop. Why can't you calling him Manchester Jim? Why does it be fucking Manchester Black?
No,
You know what I'm
because
saying?
first off, in the comics, Manchester Black is white. First off,
Okay, Fred. All right, okay, I'm sorry. Okay, you got me there.
so first,
You go.
yeah. So yes, he is played by a black guy in Supergirl. Second off, he is my favorite villain on Supergirl. He knocked it out of the park. He was so good. That fourth season of Supergirl is like my favorite. I thought that was such a great season of Supergirl. Then
And
I kind of went off the rails.
the Falcon thing you were referencing was a Key and Peele joke, but was a takeoff on the original Power Rangers, where the Black Ranger was, Walter Jones, I think was the actor's name, and I think they didn't figure it out until they were a few episodes in. They're like, "Oh shit, we made the Black Ranger a black guy, and we made the Yellow Ranger Asian."
Yeah. I was thinking
They
this.
swapped it. They made the Yellow Ranger an African American woman, and they made the Black Ranger an Asian guy, Johnny Young Bosch.
Yeah. It was a big whoops.
Even I noticed this, and I'm thinking, okay, well, all right, whatever.
The writers were
Yeah,
white,
but,
so I mean,
But this is like these things they do subconsciously. You see, you don't realize they're fucking doing it. So anyway,
That
okay.
was 30 years ago.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we'll do one more guy from or maybe two. We'll do two people from Disco, and then we're gonna move on to Stranger Worlds. So Michelle Yeoh, I mean, my goodness, Michelle Yeoh, like, I mean, she's like Whoopi Goldberg in the sense that she was massive before she became a Star Trek actress, and she'll be massive afterwards. I mean, she's done so many films. She was in one of my favorite James Bond movies, in Tomorrow Never Dies. I love that film. And she was obviously, in my opinion, arguably one of the greatest martial art movies of all the time in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. I mean, if you've not seen that film, then Tito, I'm looking at you. Then yeah, like it's just fantastic. I mean, some of the fight scenes and the choreography and the wire work in that film, it's absolutely amazing. She's been in Eternal Sunshine, and no, so she's been in Sunshine, which also is very good too. That film was a Danny Baker movie with Cillian Murphy as well, and Chris Evans is in that too. She's been in so many things. She's just a phenomenal. She was in obviously in that multiverse movie. Oh God,
Everything
his name,
Everywhere All at Once.
oh yes, fantastic. With short round. So yeah, it was. Yeah, anything you guys want to add regarding Michelle Yeoh? Because she's just fucking fantastic.
No, I mean you said it all.
Yeah, she's big time. She's
Okay,
like the Goldberg of Discovery.
yeah, no doubt, no doubt. And finally,
Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon is like the kung fu movie to end all kung fu movies.
Hmm.
yeah, and it's one of my favorite kung fu movies. And it doesn't have fucking Jackie Chan or Jet Li or anything. It just have Chow Yun Fat. But Chow Yun Fat for me is gun dotting. He's not necessarily the type of guy to fucking use his hands and his fists and the sword. He usually pulls out dual wielding pistols and shoots the shit out of you. But regardless, great film, great film. I love that movie. There's not many action movies that have tremendous stories. I think Matrix is probably another one. Like where the story and the action that combine so well and the emotion. When Chow Yun's fat character dies and she finally holds him and hugs him and gives her love to him when it's too late because he's dying. I was fucking crying, man. It was just a great scene. Anyway, um, and finally, Oded Fair. Now, Oded Fair might be not a name you would recognize, but if I told you that this guy was in The Mummy and The Mummy Returns, you fucking know who I'm talking about now, don't you? You know, and he obviously plays the captain in or the chief officer, what the hell is the admiral in Discovery?
Who was named after Vance Major.
Oh, really?
We can't prove it, but we know it's true.
Wait a minute,
Well, I
hold
believe
on.
you.
Which character?
Admiral Charles Vance.
I mean, there was a connection to the character in The Mummy and Discovery. I think you're confusing a couple actors there.
No. It's Odad Far.
Oh yeah, Oded Fair. We're talking about when we get to the
character
30-something century.
The
Yeah,
character
Yeah.
was named after Vance.
yeah.
And
We know it.
and he was also in one of the most stupidest movies ever made, in Deuce Bigelow,
Yes.
American Gigolo.
You didn't like
You
Deuce
know,
Bigelow?
It's so fucking stupid. No, don't get me wrong. Look, is it Rob Schneider?
Yes.
He can go fuck himself. He really can. Yeah, I don't like him anymore. And that film was okay. You can do it. All this shit.
Yeah.
Like he's a poor man's fucking what's his name? Adam Sandler. Honestly, he's a poor man's Ben Stiller. This if this is his claim to fame, then fuck him. What I mean? He's very lucky to have somebody like Oded Fair in his shitty movie in the first place.
Yeah.
So Oded Fair.
A big one, and I don't know if you were going to mention it. A big one for Discovery. David Cronenberg.
Oh
Horror
yes,
filmmaker David
Mate,
Cronenberg.
Nightbreed. I love that movie, Nightbreed. And not just that, but the guy was more famous for being a director than an actor. But it was really good to see him acting as well. But I love him playing the I don't know what it is in movies, but when you're a shrink, you have to be fucking crazy. And he played a crazy shrink as well. You know what I mean? So yeah. So okay, so I'm just gonna pull up the cast now for Strange New Worlds.
Much newer shows, so you're going to have people that have been on a lot less stuff.
No doubt, but there are two actors in particular, and I think we'll stick with when we first start. I'll give a special mention to Ethan Peck, being the grandson of the legendary Gregory Peck, who was in so many films from Omen to Old Gringo and various things in between, lots of
Hollywood
westerns
legend.
as well. Yes, yeah, and also Babs. Oh no, I'm gonna butcher this name. Ola Samonko, who plays the doctor, he's been in a few things.
Yeah.
He's been in a few things, and I think he was in the James Bond movie and all of these sort of things. So he's definitely been around. And
like a big time mixed martial arts guy, which is why
yes,
he got a
yes.
bunch of fight scenes this year because he's a badass.
Oh, okay. We
Oh, is that why Chappell
Adrian,
and Mbanga all of a sudden became kung fu fighters?
Yeah, because he is in real life.
I mean, that's great, but like, I hate that about those characters. It's just it seems out of nowhere, and I'm just like, why? Like, we take drugs, we get strong. Like,
we had also before I get to the two big actors, we have Adrian Holmes as well, who plays the admiral to 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 Pike. He's been in a few episodes, and he has a when I saw him, he has a very recognizable face. I know I've seen him in many things. He's been in the Christmas Doctor. He's been in Bel Air. What else has he been in? Violence of Action. Oh God, Steven Seagal films. I feel sorry for him. You know, he's been in some low budget shit. You know, he's been in. My God, he's been in a few films with Steve Austin. Yeah, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
You got to get your start somewhere.
Yeah, I guess. But okay, let's get to the two main actors. So Anson Mount. Anson Mount actually. He was in a movie with Britney Spears back in the day. You know, the Britney Spears
I
breakout
love how he says
movie.
Brittany.
Crossroads, that's it. And that was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
You know,
He plays
that means
He plays Black Bolt in the Marvel show
Inhumans. And in Multiverse of Madness, he returned for that one.
Yep.
He's been in a few things. He's got a decent amount of work.
He was the only good thing about Inhumans. And he didn't even talk in that.
Yeah, he's a bit like Darth Maul, isn't he? Yeah.
Well,
I think
in a way, yes. It's just the thing with Black Bolt is any sound he makes is like terrifyingly damaging.
Yeah.
He could whisper and like take down a house. So that's the character.
My thing is, I think it's almost impossible not to make noise. You know, like clearing your throat will fucking kill everyone. You know, like how do you never make a single sound? I think I find that impossible. You know, like you might make a like that. You know, like and then what? You fucking. What happens if you're taking a shit and you make a little noise? It's like, what the hell? You blow up the whole fucking toilet?
It's just all it is like him sitting on a toilet and the whole house is destroyed around him.
Does you hear this? Boom!
Yeah, exactly. So he's also been in The Boiler Room, a really good film, by the way, with Vin Diesel. I do recommend it, and Ben Affleck, and Lockout, the unofficial Escape from New York Part 3. I look at that film. It basically Escape from Earth. It has Guy Pearce in it. I do recommend it. It's good fun. If you've seen Lockout. So yeah, he's been in a few of these movies. He's been in The City by the Sea with Robert De Niro as well. Yeah, he's been in a few films. And finally, we get on to his co-star, played by the beautiful Rebecca Romaine. And here we have another X-Men actress, Mystique, of course. And I've always said that I would love to see at some point maybe number one, Eve, and Patrick Stewart get together for a little moment, and then maybe they could play some sort of X-Men joke because they're supposed to be brothers and sisters in that, which was really stupid when they did that retcon. The only thing I really hated about that particular X-Men movie, what was it called, First Class, when they retconned and they made Mystique fucking Picard's sister.
Adopted
sister.
Yeah, I know it's adopted sister, I know, but still, it's fucking stupid. You know what I mean? So, and they made fucking they made Juggernaut a mutant when his powers are by magic. But
that was X-Men 3, one of your favorite movies, by the way.
Yes, I know. But no. I said I like X-Men 3. I don't. but still, some.
No,
not
it's
every-
one
not
of your
every good
favorite
they got-
movies of all time, is what I heard.
All right, fine, you got me.
Hey, if you wanna bring up X-Men, here's a Star Trek connection for you for a second. Jean Grey in the X-Men movies was on Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Mhm.
Famke Janssen or whatever her name is.
Yeah,
She
Famke
was
Janssen.
Kamala in The Perfect Mate.
Yep.
Yes, and she played the Trill, didn't she? No, she played
She
Trill.
was the
No.
Trill, but the makeup
No.
they used for her in that episode inspired the Trill.
Yes. Yeah, she basically played somebody whose hormones would make all the guys horny and shit. She was a bit like fucking Poison Ivy without the
Yeah.
killer lip.
Yeah.
Makes
You
it even
know, and-
funnier if you watch the Pete Holmes X-Men episode about that.
God, it's
Yeah.
been so long since I watched that stuff.
I remember Rebecca Romaine in X-Men 2 and when she wasn't dressed up in blue and she was seducing that fucking prison warden and she's like, wow, this woman's hot as fuck. And so 51 years old now she is, and she still looks great in Strange New Worlds. But there is actually one more actress in Strange New Worlds who is Tito's favorite actress of all time, and that's
Oh,
Carol Kane, who
God.
plays Hocus Pocus, as we like to call her.
Gotta
Yeah,
get the warp
the-
core online.
Not many people know this, but have you guys seen the movie Scrooged?
Mhm.
Yes. Yeah.
She plays the ghost of Christmas Present in Scrooged. And she hits Bill Murray with a toaster.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And
Carol Kane.
she was in.
One last note about Rebecca Romaine, married to Jerry O'Connell
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
from Stand By Me, who you mentioned earlier was with Will
Yep.
Wheaton,
Yep.
and plays Commander Ransom in Lower Decks.
Yep. Yep, Rooney.
Mhm.
Yep. Exactly. So that is everybody we can give a fuck about because honestly, sorry, I'm running on empty and I can't wait to shave my fucking beard and
You're
fucking
missing
take my hat off
Picard.
my head.
You're forgetting about Picard. I'm okay skipping Lower Decks. Wouldn't mind doing that. And I'm just saying you forgot Picard, the hottest Star Trek show besides Strange New Worlds.
I don't. Okay, fine. Okay. And we're going this far. Let's do Picard. Who the fuck
Actually,
is Picard?
I guess there's really not a lot of reason to because anyone that was in Picard we covered when we did TNG.
Exactly. But
Or,
who else is in there?
Unless you want to bring up, Allison Pill and any of those people, but
She was in Scott Pilgrim versus the World. She was the drummer in the band Sex Bob-ombs. But
and Michelle Hurd, she's been in a lot of stuff. Rafi,
nothing I can think of.
I'm about to say, I don't know.
Yeah,
if
she
I've seen
looks
any of
familiar. Rafi looks.
she's one of those actresses that's just in a lot of episodic, one-off kind of stuff.
Oh, and Michael Burnham's mom was in fucking The Wire back in the day. Yeah. So let's not forget that too. So yeah, and so it's good to see her in this as well. So
You had to, Josh, you had to
Okay.
bring up Jerry O'Connell because the first thing that hit my mind was
Sliders.
Sliders, John Rhys Davis, he was really upset with Sliders because it was supposed to go one particular direction, then it went another. And for me, the moment they started replacing the main cast with other motherfuckers is the moment I stopped giving a fuck. Because you want
All of
those
us,
four
I think that
people.
happened with all of us. Yeah.
Yeah, because you see four people go on this adventure, you want to see these same four people get back home. And if they're not getting back home, then why the fuck am I watching it anymore? You
Right.
know? And I really wish, I hope, because multiverse is so popular at the moment, I would love for Sliders to be given another shot, and maybe Jerry O'Connell can play the role of the professor. Like the old statesman role.
The only character that made it all the way through the show was the crying man.
Yeah.
But even then, but they ended season 5 on the cliffhanger.
Not
They
even
never
Jerry
resolved.
O'Connell made it all the way through Sliders.
No, he did not.
No, nobody
not.
did. The rest of them didn't.
And
Yeah.
coincidentally, John Rhys Davies was in Voyager.
Yep.
Yes, he
Leonardo.
was.
Yeah, Leonardo da Vinci.
Leonardo da Vinci.
He's also in Wing
yeah.
Commander, one of my favorite games of all time. But
Yep, Wing Commander. Mhm.
He also played Salah. Yeah. In
All
three
right.
Indiana Jones movies.
Well, I think we've thoroughly explored the topic of actors play many roles because they need work.
Yeah, exactly. Any actors at this moment in time in stuff that coming up in the future?
no. Wait, what?
Star Trek's kind of taking a hiatus for a bit. We're gonna see.
Hence why we have this podcast right now.
Yeah.
We're supposedly going to get Prodigy's coming to Netflix in about a week, and they said that season 2 of Prodigy has just they've just finished it in post-production, so we should see it next year. I've seen some peeks of some scenes. That we lost the Janeway hologram in season 1, but the replacement this year is Picardo as the Doctor is going to be their mentor in season 2.
I saw that, yeah.
So excited for that. And then not Lower Decks. We'll get another season of Lower Decks probably in the next year or so. And Strange New Worlds season 3 started filming or 4. I think it's 4. Is it season 4?
Oh no, 3.
Season 3.
Season 3 started filming about a day or so ago.
Yeah, because what's her face who plays Chapel posted a thing and she had the beanie on that said Star Trek or Strange New World season 3.
So they started filming like a couple of days ago, and but we probably won't see it till next year. So
2025,
not 2024, but 2025. We may not see that till 2025. So it's going to be, and we get Discovery season 5 in 2024. So
don't you miss the days when a season would come out every fucking year instead of like waiting 2-3 years?
But here's the thing, but we still get multiple shows throughout the year.
So even though there's going to be this hiatus, there's still going to be some Star Trek in the next year. There's going to be Prodigy. There's going to be another Lower Decks. There's going to be Discovery season 5. And then by the time all that's gone through and we're in 2025, that's when we'll get Strange New Worlds again. So, not so bad.
Last year, I remember we've talked about this before. Last year, we got like 52 episodes. We got technically, I think we got 58 episodes. I think minus 1 week of Star Trek in a row. And you think about it, that's almost the same as 2 shows running concurrently, just 2 different series. But
it was a smorgasbord of Star Trek in 2022. It was
getting almost the same episode count per year. It's just on multiple different shows.
Let me tell you, when we were back when my podcast was more of an episode review kind of format, that long stretch there every week doing an episode review, I think it was 6 months once you went from, and there was a little overlap, about 2 or 3 episodes, but wasn't it about 6 months straight of Star Trek episodes? That was grueling. Let me just tell you.
We did that too. We did
the same thing.
Picard season 2, Lower Deck season 2, I think. Strange New World season 1.
And then Strange
Prodigy
New World season 1, when that went off the air, when that finished, there was Orville season 3.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like there was always something going for.
There was always Trek, including Orville, because we all know it's Star Trek. I mean, let's be real.
It's the ultimate Star Trek fan production.
Right.
A Star Trek fan production that's not called Star Trek.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Orville,
it's done.
Excellent spot in Crisis on Infinite Excaliburs. You included a Union ship in there, Josh, which was awesome. And actually, I like that the ship was not there just to be cool, but it actually played a part into why the hell we're in the situation that we're in.
Yeah, that was fun. And that was one of the things I really wanted to do. And the backgrounds we used for the Planetary Union ship Excalibur were from the Orville interactive video game. You can go play. So I reached out to those people. I got permission, and they were just like, "Well, it's kind of a free thing to the internet, so there's go right ahead." And they actually gave me kind of a sneak peek at their what is it, the New Horizons mod, and so I had, that's not been released yet for Mac or whatever, so I was able to like take screenshots from that and use it in the film, and it was so fun doing that. It took so long though, because I didn't even know what I was going to do when I shot the green screen plates. I was just like sit in front of the screen with no plan, and
That's the
and
beauty
shot
of
it.
green screen. Come up with the plan later.
And then so when I went into that game, like I was like referencing the green screen stuff I did, and I moved like the player character point of view until I got exactly the angle, and then screenshotted that, and then I even still had to kind of move them around a little bit. So, but it was fun. It was fun to do that.
Yeah, so just regarding the other shows, though, Jim mentioned Section 41, but there's also the the Academy show as well, I believe.
Yeah, I want that to take place in the 25th
Why
century.
are they doing this? Why are they?
No, I totally agree. I totally agree. It's like
I want a Starfleet Academy show.
It
I
could
just
work.
don't want it to be set in the 31st century. I want it to be in the 25th century.
I think that's what they're doing
Yeah.
because Starfleet is getting reformed. Earth is rejoining the Federation, and it's been 150 years since there's really been a Starfleet or need for officers, and that was the reason why Tilly was leaving the ship to instruct the Academy. It's because they thought that she would be the perfect one to start training this next generation of Starfleet officers. So if Starfleet Academy happens in any time frame, they've pretty much already set it up to happen there.
Oh, they've already started like building sets or something for it. But
Yeah.
you know, it's like all Star Trek, I'll give it a chance, you know, because I always do. And the only reason this time, not just because it's Star Trek, but because Tawny Newsom's doing some of the writing, I'll check it out.
That's right.
Yeah, I was hoping for a 25th century so we could possibly get a Colomini to come back.
Yeah.
And
The
be
greatest
and
man
like be the dean of Starfleet Academy. Like, wouldn't that be awesome to have Colomini as the dean of Starfleet Academy?
But not, yes, but not in a show called Starfleet Academy. If you want something in the 25th century, I will not rest until we get Star Trek Legacy.
Oh, okay.
Even
I
though
like
it's-
the idea of Star Trek Legacy. I just hate the fact that it's based around the Enterprise G. We've had this conversation. I don't know if you,
even though that title is not official by any means, that's what the fans are calling it. I will not rest until we get that. You have beef with the Enterprise G? I think it's great.
Yeah, they've done this episode already.
Oh, so this episode's been done. Okay, I won't take it.
I'll link you our podcast in there when we talk.
I won't take us back to that,
Josh,
Hans.
you were on that one, weren't you?
Me, no, I wasn't in it.
Oh, you weren't?
Okay. They didn't need to rename the fucking ship in the first place. Just keep it as the fucking Titan. That's all.
We all wanted it to be the Titan.
The only thing that I'll say that I love about that, because it's kind of weird. But it's so neat to go. I watch a lot of Voyager on Pluto TV, and you see those first few episodes where 7 of 9 gets rescued from the Borg and what she's like. And it's neat to watch that and think, one day she's going to be the captain of the Enterprise.
Yeah.
What a character arc to go from where she started to captain of the Enterprise.
Think of that arc.
That's cool.
As I said, I don't mind 7 being a captain. I like that idea. I even like the crew. I like Raffi. I
really like Jack Crusher.
Jack Crusher.
I kind of like him. I'm not super on board with him, but
21-year-old Jack Crusher looks like he's 41. Yes.
Yeah, they say he's like 20 something, and he's like the actor's 35.
The LaForge sisters,
not to mention, it totally would have been like a geriatric pregnancy because she would have been like 50 when she had him.
Well, but this is 24th, like late 24th century. So technology was there to make sure it was okay.
People are living longer.
That's all you can say.
I did this math on another podcast. Let me do it again.
Well, I think we're going to start wrapping up. Though, while you look that up, I do want to mention just a couple housekeeping things. So first off, thank you very much to our guests down below. We'll get to where you guys can be found here in a second. If anyone's watching, we are in now the hype train for our Golden Glasses Awards for 2023 is where we all get together, we all get dressed up, and we sit in our houses in front of our cameras like douches and act like we know more about the people at the other award shows. So this year with the Golden Glasses, we're doing a lot of things, a lot of fun things. Also, this gentleman right down here, Josh Irwin, his fan film Crisis on Infinite Excaliburs has been nominated for for fan film of the year. So although that is not for public voting, there will be several on-screen contributors who will be voting. And Josh is one of those as well, so he might vote for his own. I don't know.
If that's allowed.
We also do, just a quick mention, anyone who is a Patreon of Red Shirt and above can also be invited to this private Facebook group where you can do the voting as well. So you can do any of those. We do have People's Choice Awards that are out there right now. They're starting to roll out. I think yesterday's was, what was yesterday's? I don't even remember. I got to bring it up. Oh, damn it, Bobby. Yesterday's was the Late to the Party Award. So basically it's a show that we found later on that came out anywhere from 2022 and before. So
I'm currently watching Succession right now. I just finished season 1, and it has that, I told you earlier, it had that captain of the Enterprise B in it. He plays he plays one of the rich kids. He's a bit of a weirdo because he has this girlfriend, but this girlfriend is more like a bought girlfriend. He really wants to make it work with this girl, but she's only with him because he gives her money, and it's kind of awkward, their relationship.
Okay.
He's a bit of a weirdo.
Well, I mean, he was captain of the Enterprise B, so I mean, might be a little bit of a weirdo. Not everybody can be Rachel Garrett. Okay.
Yeah, fair enough.
Big J, thank you so much for being here, man. Where can we find you at?
You can find myself and Beyond Trek Podcast if you go to starfleetpodcast.net/Beyond Trek. So go to starfleetpodcast.net/Beyond Trek. And if you Google Beyond Trek Podcast, and if you Google it, you have to use all 3 words, Beyond Trek Podcast. That's where you'll find me. That's where you'll find us and our different channels. But we've got our website there. That's the easy jumping off point where you can see our different social medias, YouTube channel, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. So all of those. So go to starfleetpodcast.net/Beyond Trek. That's where you'll find me.
All right.
And thank you very much for having me on.
Hey, no problem. We love having you here. Sorry, this was a really long one.
Hey man, enjoy.
This was a really long one, yeah.
This is fun.
I like talking Star Trek.
Yeah. This guy down here in the corner, he's not a very well-known person here on this channel. I think he makes some kind of like low budget films out of his car or something.
I do this lame thing where I make these home movies.
The kind of quality that Hardware Wars had, where you have a talking toaster and
almost some dude, Ed Wood quality stuff.
Some dude that's your neighbor playing Luke Skywalker or something.
Somebody that's got 31,000 views on a fan film.
Listen, I was talking about Tough to Kill. I don't know what.
Tough to Kill is so fucking good, man. That's my favorite work of yours. I love it.
So anyway, so Josh, where can anyone watching this who doesn't know where you're at already on our channel find you?
YouTube, it's called Avalon Universe Fan Films. You won't really see a whole lot of me in it, but it's one of those things like there's so much of me in it. When you touch it, it's me.
You got to watch our phrasing on that one.
Yeah. Can you show us on the doll where you touched? That's
the Leah Brahms joke,
that almost got by me.
I'm going to touch it.
It's just a silly little Star Trek fan film series called Avalon Universe.
All right. So Zammo, you want to take us home, or you want me to?
No, but you've been doing a good job so far.
All right, everybody out there in YouTube land, thank you so much for joining us. Thank our guests for joining us. I'm going to get links into the description here after we get off of here to both of these guys' channels. So go to those, subscribe if you're already subscribed here. If you're not subscribed here, guess what? Like, subscribe, leave a comment, tell us about your favorite actors of Star Trek that did other works. Did we forget some? Did we not give some enough credit? With all that being said, everybody, we will catch you guys in the next one. Live long and prosper. And bye.
Bye-bye.